Ladies and gents, welcome back. Hey, it's another Friday. It's one of those days. Check me out. I'm having a coffee this time. Why is that? Chat, come on in. Let's chat. Holy cow. A lot of you came early today. Holy. How many of you guys are in there? Don't forget to hit the like button on your way in. Come on, hit that button. It helps out a ton. Yes, I'm having a coffee this morning, and that's because I'm on this evening. Where am I? I'm all mixed up right now. I am all mixed up. Not having a wobbly pop tonight. I hope you're having a wobbly pop in my honor. Yeah, having coffees. Yeah, my eye is looking. There we go. This is why, because I am on a big round of meds. I got these things, and I gotta do this whole detox. It's round of antibiotics. I got an infection in my eye. Not cool. I was actually worried that I might have to pull out the old patch and put that on the eye to do the video. If you hadn't noticed, I didn't put out another video yesterday other than my video with Marty that recorded on Wednesday evening, and then I didn't put one out this morning either. Coffee is never wrong any time of the day. That's right. And you guys know where you can get your coffee. Of course, it's always at the best place on the planet, or at least in the country, to get your coffee, and that is at ClydeDoSomething.com. You can get your Clyde Brew Something coffee. You can get yourself a mug just like this one. This has been a hot seller on the store this past week. Not kidding. There's not many left, actually. So get yourself over there. Get yourself one because they'll be sold out sooner than you think. It's amazing if you want to get your hands on one of them. Let's get back over here. But yeah, yes, we noticed. Yeah, of course you guys noticed. I'd rather side with the U.S. 100%. And this is what my rant is going to be about tonight, because I'm really getting fed up with our news media here in Canada. Of course, I guess this is the theme of my channel entirely, is how the news media is lying to you and just about what they're lying to you about. I side with Sam Cooper. There you go. Sam Cooper's been doing a fantastic job, bang up job, exposing a lot of the corruption in the Canadian government. But this is where my frustration comes from. And I think it's a frustration of jealousy, because we see so much happening in the United States right now with Doge, with Donald Trump, with the pressures that's happening, and just watching the media and all the congressional and Senate people squirming, trying to get away from the fraud that they've been involved in so many decades and decades. And I'm getting frustrated because over here, we're exposing a lot of this fraud all the time. And there's some great journalists, there's some great people working on this. And it is so infuriating to watch it go down the way it's going down in the United States right now, and how they're actually getting rid of a lot of this, and how it's going in Canada, where it's sticking around, it's staying. And in fact, people are just walking away from a lot of these issues. This has got to end. We need to have what's going on in the United States. We got to import that here. That would be fantastic. And of course, they'll complain, they'll cry, they'll say, why are you bringing US style politics to Canada? Well, it's because you started going to CNN to go do all your adverts. Liberal Party, that's why. Trish Brew, the happy Valentine's Day, everyone. $6.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Sending out my love to Clyde and the Clydesters. Hit the like button, everyone. Yeah, get on down there, hit that like button. Let everybody know how you feel. It's about letting the algorithm know how you feel, really is what it's about. Let the algorithm know that you support this kind of work, and you would like other people to join the community. And that's really what helps. It's very helpful. And I love to see when we can keep things parity. Isn't that cool? Because, we can get as many likes as there are people in the chat. I know we can get it. We can bring up the likes. We can make that happen. Absolutely. Oh, my goodness. I mean, where do you even start with all of this? It is getting crazy. Oh, by the way, for the next mug, because these ones are almost sold out already, thinking about doing a safe for work version. Because I know a lot of people want a safe for work version. I want your ideas. I'd love to hear from you guys, the ones that would actually be buying these mugs. What would you like to see on the mug? Of course, the other side is going to be the classic Clyde do something, which is awesome. But I'd like to hear some of your ideas. I was thinking like takeoff instead of that, or takeoff A, perhaps. What would you guys like to see? Canucks will go China. Yeah, that's what we're worried about. It's so frustrating, these blind Canadians that are falling for the Liberal MDP BS. Absolutely. I mean, I got to admit, I probably, if you've been paying attention to my Twitter, Big Balls is doing a great job, let me tell you. If you've been paying attention to my Twitter, Takeoff A is good. I like that one. Keep on trucking. I guess that would be a classic. Keep on trucking. We need to get some Keep on Trucking gear, because I say it at the end of every video. Maybe a t-shirt that says Keep on Trucking. Maybe come up with a design for that. That'd be really cool. Hosers say what? Tukoff, eh? Oh, I like my OG mug, the color changing Clyde shades. You know what? That was a mistake. So there's still some left. Oh no, it's sold out. Never mind. I'm just looking on the store. Those are sold out. The first color changing ones, we didn't order the color changing ones, but that's what came in. So that's what we had. So whatever. If you guys are cool with that, they're more expensive. We got charged the regular mug rate, so we got kind of a bit of a deal there. Yes, Keep on Trucking. Okay, that sounds like a good one. So it's between Keep on Trucking and Take Off, eh? We'll see what mug comes up next, but I'd like to see some other designs going on with that. Yeah, truckers save Canada and the world. Yeah, you're right about that. Yes, keep on trucking. I'm getting a lot of yes, keep on trucking. Keep on trucking. Do a poll. Let's do a poll. Why don't we do a poll? Ladies and gents, let's do this. Let's get one going. I'm struggling. Again, I don't know if you can see, but my eye is swollen. It is nuts. Watch out for copyright. Oh yeah. There is no copyright on that phrase. Keep on trucking. Just to be certain on that one, there's no copyright there. That's in the commons, but so is Take Off, eh? The Justice Duck. What a name. I like that. The Justice Duck with 279 says, for the cup, tuck Trudeau. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. A lot of people are asking for like not say, a safe for work version of stuff. So that Square One chick is driving me nuts. The Square One chick? I don't know that. Okay, let's go start a poll. Next cup or next mug. Question mark. Take off. Where are we? Off. A. Exclamation. Or keep on trucking. Keep on trucking. We'll start this poll. We'll see what it. Oh, afuera. Oh, I should have put that in there too. Holy cow! What a great idea. Afuera. Afuera is a great one. Diane. Oh, I'm saving that. I'm saving that idea. I'm actually texting that one to Yuji right now, just so I don't forget. Afuera. Afuera is a great one. That is amazing. Yes, but it is. But is it a copyright or a trademark? No. So some things they've been in the commons for so long they can't be trademarked. And I know Keep on Trucking is one of those. Or else I would have had a cease and desist by now. Obviously, no. You see Keep on Trucking on all kinds of stuff everywhere. But that's one of those things. I just started saying it at the end of my videos when the convoy started going, because I'm like, yeah, keep on trucking. Like, this sounds right, and I just stuck. It's been the thing ever since. For vacation, tuck Trudeau is safe for work. Yeah. I know there's a lot of parents that be like, yeah, but I gotta explain it to my kids, and One of those ones. Grateful Dead equals keep on trucking. Oh, okay. But yeah, we'll make sure there's no copyrights on any of these things moving forward. But let's get into it. Let's talk about some stuff tonight. This is oh man, what a week has it been. So if you've been paying attention to my Twitter, maybe you think I got a little black pilled, something like that. I've been kind of ragging on Canada a bit. And I'm telling you, it's out of love. It's out of love because I want Canada to step up to the plate. I want Canada to step up to the plate because we're making some seriously wrong moves right now, and it's not helping us. We're feeding right into what Trudeau, Carney, the Liberals, Jagmeet Singh, all of them want, and that's where it's going. So just keep that in mind as we go through some of this stuff tonight. Piano, you haven't been around for a while, have you? Yeah, the Piano had to get well, I had to go to another home because I had to move to another home. So this is, yeah, long story, but it is still in the family. So just keep that in mind. It didn't get pitched. Wouldn't want a good piano to go to waste. We need more leaders like Danielle Smith. Absolutely. But then, you know, now we have all these premiers that are all stepping up and be like, yeah, diplomacy is the way to go. See, I told you all this time. Meanwhile, it was Danielle Smith that paved that way for that. Clyde moved, eh? Yeah, Clyde moved. I'm still in the same town that I was, but I'm in transition because we're gonna. Oh, well, I mean, we'll get into that if you'd like. But the plan, which is don't know when it's going to happen quite yet, is moving to Murica. Yeah, moving down to Texas. That's the plan. Just don't know when that's going to happen yet. 51st state. Let's vote. Well, let's see if that becomes an option, which I doubt. And we can get into that. Clyde did something. He moved. LOL. Yeah. There's a lot of things that I've done. If you haven't been paying attention, there's a lot of things that have happened, especially with this community here. Did you hear Stephen Guilbeault killed? Yes, he killed the oil refinery. Just another step in the decline of good old Canada. That is another thing. Let's get into some of these stories. First and foremost, I want to say happy Suspension of Civil Liberties Day, Canada. This is congratulations. It's been a few years since the first official emergency day. Emergency because people had bouncy castles in Ottawa Day. Yeah, that's a thing. So yeah, keep your hearts warm and your bank accounts frozen. You gotta have a sense of humor about these things. It's awful. Make fun of these people because that will forever be the legacy of these two lovebirds, who don't exactly like each other much anymore. But that tis the case in left-leaning circles. That expedience in the moment. That's the way that works. But yes, these two decided that it would be a great time on Valentine's Day to declare a state of emergency. Tamara Leach putting this one out there. Happy Emergencies Day Act Day, Canada, with pictures of what Canada's response to, again, bouncy castles and families saying, you know what? I think I don't want to be locked down by my government anymore. It's been 2 years and we've had enough. And I think it would be good if we could have our liberties back, in a very passive-aggressive sort of Canadian fever way of saying it. And they got the support from a huge majority of Canadians. And the response was to crack down on them with the mighty monopoly of violence that the state actually is. Let's never forget what happened on February 14th. Thank you, Margaret Free, for that. This is a day that will go down in infamy. This will be the memory of what the Liberal Party actually is. The Liberal Party is the party of coercion, is the party of force, It's the party of, browbeat you into doing something, and at the end of the day, if you won't do it, they will force you to do it, and if you won't be forced to do it, they will use physical force to do it. This is their legacy, and don't ever forget that, because they want you to forget that. Absolutely, going into this new Team Canada approach with the United States. Illegal force. Actually, that was illegal force. Listless receptionist. You're correct on that one, because a judge later found that their invocation of the Emergencies Act was not justified and was unconstitutional. Now, what powers does the court have to, bring forward punishment for that? That is yet to be seen. We have not seen anything of the sort. Yeah. Afuera. Everything except Clyde. I hope this is the direction that we might move in, because, afuera. Absolutely is where we need to go. We have the examples, and the example coming out of the United States is great. It's absolutely fantastic. It may seem like I'm, again, with this whole thing, people want to say, oh, Clyde, you're really down on blah. Yeah, I mean, I'm down because we have an example just south of us of what it looks like. And even people in the United States some people are upset about it, and rightfully so. They have their reasons to be upset about it, I suppose. Here's a lady who's been talking about how she's not having a good old time with this. I got this clip off of X, because this is just beautiful. This is let her explain it for herself. This is just unbelievable that these people exist out there.
A chest letter in the mail this morning, and I just now opened it, and somebody reported me to the state of Michigan because I'm making money on TikTok, and I drive a 2024 BMW. They have cut my food stamps from almost $4,000 a month down to $88 a month.
Down from $4,000 a month for food stamps. Just imagine if you got that kind of cash. Just imagine. That would be something else.
They are telling me if I want a review that I have to sell my car. So you're telling me if you were on welfare, food stamps, cash assistance, Section 8, you can't drive a nice car? They are forcing me to sell my brand new BMW, or I lose almost $4,000 in food stamps. Not only that, they have taken my cash assistance totally away. They are telling me that Section 8 will no longer be paying 95% of my rent, only 10% of my rent. So I will have to pay a little.
So she used to have her entire rent paid for, plus $4,000 in food stamps and Section 8 cash assistance. This is crazy. This is nuts that somebody would have that.
Over $400 a month now, instead of $60 a month. They cannot.
Wow, it looks like the Doge got you too, boo.
I absolutely love that one. I don't know who this is posting this. Squirrel Mama posting this. But this is what's happening in the US. And I'd love to see stuff like this getting cut off, because realistically, we are in a situation, both countries, Canada and the United States, we've been paying for stuff. And this is domestic. That's not even getting into what's being paid for with, Global Affairs Canada or US AID, which is all coming out. They cut USAID right off in the United States. And of course, everybody's squealing about it. And a lot of people are squealing about it. And so they're doing press conferences that are completely unapologetic. I love it. I absolutely love this.
The people voted for major government reform. There should be no doubt about that. That was on the campaign. The president spoke about that at every rally. The people voted for major government reform. And that's what people are going to get. They're going to get what they voted for. And a lot of times, that people that don't get what they voted for, but in this presidency, they are going to get what they voted for. And that's what democracy is all about.
That is what democracy is
People
all
voted.
about. They voted for Elon Musk. So there's this whole thing that they're saying nobody voted for Elon Musk. There was no what would you say, like, secret that Elon Musk was going to be the head of Doge ahead of the vote. That's no, it was part of the campaign strategy. This is what it is. I'm seeing comments in here. I can't find it right now. People surviving on like tiny amounts of money. My disabled adult daughter gets $40 a month for food. Who can survive on that? And this little fraudulent whiner is entitled. Wow, glad she was reported. Yeah, glad that people who are undeserving of this stuff are reported. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that people who are in need should be getting the things that they're entitled to, right? The reason why we set up these social safety nets, take care of those people. Instead, what are we doing? Everything's going to global affairs, Canada. Global affairs, and what are global affairs sending our money to? Overseas, to weirdo organizations that are doing weirdo things that are actually just fronts for lining the pockets of politicians here at home. Now, I've been getting frustrated. I've been getting absolutely frustrated at this, because the reason why I'm frustrated is because guys like Elon Musk are taking care of it in the United States. I want to see it taken care of here. Obviously, they don't want to do that. Obviously, they do not want to do that. Don't scam the system. Well, if it's set up for scamming, that's exactly what they'll do. These systems made for scamming, and that's just what it'll do. One of these days, the system's gonna call you up and ask you for your social insurance number. That's what it's unbelievable. So I've been paying attention to this stuff and just getting kind of frantic. It's really, how can you even say it? Just irritating, to say the least, where this is all going, where it's all been going. Did you see Frank Vaughn's video today? No, I haven't today. And by the way, if you're not following Frank Vaughn, get over there and follow Frank Vaughn. He's been doing great work. I'll have to catch up on that video for sure. B-Mont with a $5 super sticker. How's it going? Thank you so much, B-Mont, for that. Daifeichu with a $5 super chat says, Doge is doing a good thing, but they should be closing most of those federal bureaus. So, I don't know if I can pull it up quick enough, but Milei's government had a rundown of exactly how they do this. So it comes in tiers, right? So let me see if have your Milei, how do you spell it? E-L-E-I. Cuts. Maybe it'll come up. So they have this like system laid out where you do a first run through all of the programs, and then afterwards, then you have to go through the programs again, right? So there's the first round of cuts, which they've done in year one, and then they revisit every department and they make a new round of cuts. Plan, maybe. Let me try to find this if it'll even come up, but essentially this is how they've set it up, and his guys, yeah, and I can't find it. I'd have to, that would be a homework assignment right there. But so the idea is that they'll do a whole round of cuts the first go around, which is like the first raw cuts, it's like doing lumber, right? When you do lumber, you got a tree, you got a big old log that they've cut down and they've bucked to a certain length, and they send it to the mill. Well, in the mill, you're not making your final 2x4s on the first lot. No. You make your rough cuts. All your rough cuts come out. Boop, 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 boop. Now you've got them. And that's when you get like raw actual 2x4s. That's what you see. And then it's not the 1.5 by 3s that you get when you go to Rona or Home Depot or whatever. No, that's done in final. So right now, they went through their massive cuts, the first round of cuts, and they went through every department. And it's basically just an interview process of like, hey, what do you do here? Is that something that a libertarian government would find interesting as a, nope, okay, bye. And most of it would get cut. And you're saying like, massive, massive amounts. And then they go through the fine tooth comb on the second go around. So if you think you're safe because you survived the first round of cuts, maybe start looking for a job now. At least you survived that first round of cuts, and I hope that that's how it works with what's going on in Doge, for example. Efficiency. There you go. You're looking for efficiency. Now, is there efficiency in Canada? Yeah, they're canceling stuff, but they're not canceling the right kind of things. What are they canceling? They're canceling innovation. That's right. Breaking news. Canada kills its own energy future. While the U.S. has no federal carbon tax and is ramping up production, Trudeau and Guilbeault just terminated an $11 billion oil refinery project. Final nail in the coffin for the Northern Gateway pipeline. Energy is done. It's done. It's crazy. Guilbeault pulls the pin on $11 billion Kitimat refinery project backed by Stockwell Day. So you wonder why Canadians are like, why is nobody coming and investing in Canada? Why do we have to pay companies to come to Canada and then they back out last minute and keep our tax dollars and then go to the United States and open up factories? That's because we have these idiots. And by voting in more of these idiots is not gonna, I live in Kitimat, it sucks. Yeah, it sucks. It totally sucks. And you know what? That $11 billion is gonna go, you guessed it, to America. And America is gonna be very happy about it, as they should be. To be honest, they should be very happy about it because they're able to swing some of these deals and they're able to encourage investment into Canada. Are we gonna get to keep any of our industries here? I mean, look at it. Oh, this is unreal. First, I want to get to the comment that I had to say on this one. This is the destruction of the economy and deindustrialization of the country at the behest of the Chinese Communist Party. Canada is a rogue state. At this point, Canada is a rogue state. Canada is run by people at the behest of Xi Jinping. Now, when we have contention with Donald Trump and we have all these blowhards in Ottawa saying, we need to get together, be Team Canada and appreciate the flag and do all these other things, and this would be great. Isn't that amazing? No, we don't want to be on your team. We don't want to be on your team. Yes, we want to be Team Canada. Yes, we want to encourage Canada, but this is not Team Canada. This here is not Team Canada. This is not helping Canada. This is absolutely destroying Canada. And if any of these characters and any of these players are on Team Canada, we need a redraft. We need a draft. And that's what we call an election. But are we going to get an election? Don't know. Don't know. Well, that one's still up in the air. That one's absolutely still up in the air. In fact, today there was, this was Happy Valentine's Day. This was the concept of the idea, and the JCCF doing a bang up job. Don't get me wrong here. JCCF doing a bang up job. A big shout out to James Manson, who is the lawyer for JCCF, who's fighting against this prorogation. We have Ryan, who's been down there reporting on this from Northern Perspective, and he's been doing a lot of coverage on this. So I'm not going to cover all of his coverage on this, but this is him today at the very end. So day 2, prorogation challenge, afternoon summary. Here we are.
All right, folks, here we go. We're at the end of the day, end of the entire proceedings. So last bit was pretty dramatic in that JCCF got back up after the government intervener finished their nonsensical argument. I'm not even going to bother with it because it's so nonsensical. I don't think it added anything to the case. I think it hurt the government. So, but essentially JCCF got up and they did a couple things. Number one, which was huge, one of the main government's points was that you cannot use an unwritten principle
like to
to argue a case, and they said that there has never been a case where that
Canada,
was done.
Canada again.
JCCF was able to get up and actually cite a case. Chief Justice accepted that, so that was a massive blow to that, because that opens the door for a whole bunch of possibilities for the JCCF. And second, James Manson got back up and was passionately arguing for the fact that a constitutional principle can actually be used to tie to a legal obligation of the Prime Minister. And so essentially what that means is he can tie the Constitution to the act of prorogation and say that it violated the legal rights of Canadians. That's what he was essentially arguing for in the end. Sounded like the Chief Justice was really interested in that, was asking for a few more tidbits of how future courts could tie that to a legal test, and James Manson kept pointing back to the UK case, saying they've already done it. And there's a lot more to talk about there, but I'll talk about that in my recap video later. But hats off to James Manson. He was fighting really, really hard in the end.
Yeah.
He deserves all the credit in the world, win or lose. But the Chief Justice also did commit to render a decision before this becomes moot. So that means that it's going to come hopefully in a week or so. But I can't honestly say when that is going to happen. Anyway, folks, that's it for the prorogation hearing. Catch our full recap video later this evening, and we'll
definitely go check it out. Absolutely get over there and check this out. A couple of catch up on here. Winiska saying for $20, thank you so much, really appreciate that, saying let's all put some positive vibes for Chief Justice Paul Crampton to put Canadians first and side with the people. Yes please, I'd love to see that. We need to set our representatives back to Parliament so they can represent us, because we're not being represented. This whole idea of democracy is not playing out for us at the moment. Fletch, I think that's how you say that, for $2 says, hope you all join the US. It'll be awesome. Now, I gotta just come clean straight away with this one. I don't believe that Canada is going to be joining the United States. I don't believe that the United States wants that. I don't believe that that's going to be a thing. It's not even a real thing that's on the table. Now, of course, this is Donald Trump, and Donald Trump, yeah, great job, JCCF. Fingers crossed. Absolutely. Happy Far Right Friday, folks. Yes, yeah. Wow, maybe that's what I should call the show from now on. Far Right Friday. But it's crazy because I guess I'm as far right as it goes, because I'm in the libertarian camp. It depends on how you look at the scale of political spectrum, whatever. I always look at it at the linear scale, where you have totalitarianism on one side and anarchy on the other, and libertarians are just a step back from anarchy. That's how you'd look at that from that perspective. Anyway, where was I going with this? I don't believe that the United States genuinely wants Canada. Let's just be honest. Canada is left of California. I put this out. I tweeted this out just the other day. I'm gonna pull this up, perhaps. Some of the replies were were negative, I guess. Some are negative, some are positive, but yeah, here it is. So Canada is left of California. If you think that you think it's bad in the furthest left state in the union, it's by every metric worse in Canada. Braden Naglis, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, the 279 super chat. Can we get a honk honk mug? Well, that'd be something else. I think what we'll do is we'll just keep a rotation. As the mugs sell out, we'll bring in new designs and we'll keep going with that. I like that idea. The honk honk is really cool. Yeah, absolutely. Where are we now? How do you pronounce that? Theorica? I hope I'm pronouncing that, with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Watched Candace Juno news piece with Pierre today. Okay, I'm thinking Candace Malcolm with the new they have their news site. They've joined forces with Kean Bexty, didn't they? Juno, they call it. News piece with Pierre today. Are they a shoo-in for the Juno Awards every time? That kid. He's going to commit to. He is going to commit political suicide if he keeps saying that all of this is totally unjustified. Sam Cooper, the truth is getting out and will reach critical mass eventually. I think you're right. This narrative of it being unjustified is really stupid. Canada has become a hub for these narcotics. It is now a global hub for narcotics. We are a narco state at this point. And like, if you thought Mexico was, I mean, Canada, holy. True North, is True North still a thing? Yeah, well, I guess, I don't know if they're still a thing. They're called Juno now, I guess, because they're joining forces with the counter signal. So that's a thing. Alex Zoltan's working for True North as well. But getting to this point, America doesn't want Canada to be a jurisdiction. And this is why. This here is why. Because Canada is left of California. Now, I had people, push back on this and say, yeah, well, what about Alberta, right? And what are the metrics you're referring to? And here it is. Taxes in the highest tax jurisdiction in the United States, California, are lower than that of what Albertans pay, the lowest taxed jurisdiction in Canada. State healthcare is mandatory and is the only option. Guns are more heavily regulated. Businesses are handcuffed. Yes, by all these metrics, even Alberta is left of California. It's unreal. Like, it really is unreal. Do you think Americans, especially in red states, would look at Canada and go, yeah, let's bring them on. Let's bring them aboard. I know we just struggled to get Donald Trump back for a second term, but let's totally bring that aboard, because that would be a great idea. No, America does not have any interest in bringing Canada aboard. It's not a realistic thing that's on the table. Now, what happens with Canada moving forward? I don't know, because it's not a good sign of with what's going on right now. It really isn't a good sign because of the sentiment in Canada from anyone who's, realistically looking at the situation. And even right now, you're seeing people who typically didn't pay attention. Video game streamers are really upset about the way it is in Canada. Here's a guy, his name is XQC. He streams on a platform called Twitch, if you're not familiar with it. It's a live streaming platform, predominantly video gamers and all of this. And this guy is extremely frustrated at the amount of taxes he has to pay because he's in that upper echelon now. Hey, he's made it. Good for you, man. You made it. But now that you've made it and you were sleeping all along, you now get to figure out what it's like to pay taxes in Canada.
Like I pay 57% taxes in Quebec, right? 57%.
57%
At that point, brother,
of his income.
When I pay the taxes, brother, you know what I want to do? I want to call the office, call the whatever, IRS, whatever, it'll give it. Say, hey man, can I talk to your superior? And say, yo, today I don't want to stream. Can you stream for me? Because clearly they deserve more than half. So they're doing more than I am. So today, how about you pull up and you stream for me? How about you pull up and do it for me, fuck? Holy fucking shit, man. What a joke, man. What a fucking joke, man. They can't fix the roads. I pull the car out. It's a war zone, brother.
Dude, it's barely understandable. That's right.
Oh, dude, we do the infrastructure. Like, holy fuck, man.
Yeah. Holy hell, man. Holy hell. That's XQC being XQC. That's, yeah, this is his thing. A tabernacle, right? But yeah, people are waking up. People are waking up. They're figuring it out. They're going, hey, this ain't such a great deal. But you know what? Guys like this, he makes millions of dollars. You know how easy it would be for him to pack up? And I bet you he's on it now. I bet he's on it now. He's going, hey, I can move to California and pay 13% of my income. That's high. That's high. But that's what Bill Maher said he pays. You know, when he was griping about the job that they were doing in California with the wildfires, he was upset and he said, why am I paying 13% of my income for this? Well, I think 13% is a better number for a guy like XQC in the highest tax jurisdiction in the United States of America. And then he could be close to all of these other streamer buddies that all hang out in California as well. And this is the harsh reality that Canadians really need to come to grips with. And I think a lot of people in this audience already have this figured out. He's right, though. 57% tax is ridiculous. Yeah. And that's just on his income. He's forgetting about all the other taxes he has to pay every time he buys something, all the hidden taxes on items that are just more expensive here that you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know because they hide it. The USA has Texas. Canada has taxes. Yeah. And a lot of people are taking off. They're leaving. They don't want it. It's amazing. And here's Mr. Angus. Should have been a colonel. But Mr. Angus here has this to say about the United States. I'm not going to play the whole thing.
I want to say this morning how much I love my country. We don't tend to do that in Canada.
No, you don't. Oh my goodness. Oh, I didn't even get into this first little bit. How many seconds in? 6 seconds in, and I already have to contest with what this guy has to say. No, you don't say that enough. You know who did? You know who were saying that enough? I don't know. A bunch of people are fed up with you cracking down on them, and they were going to Ottawa, and they had bouncy castles with them. Yeah, those people. Angus is the biggest jerk there is. Yeah, and this is what he has to say.
We think that that's kind of gauche. We don't feel we need to say how much we love our country. But when we...
No. You gotta. Because you sure don't show it. Take off, eh? New meaning. Oh, yeah, it does give take off, eh? A new meaning.
See the criminal gang that has taken control in Washington telling us we do not have a right to our nation. Well, oh, yeah. Not only am I going to love my country and its values and the people from one end of this beautiful nation to another, but I'm going to work with those ordinary Canadians to defend our right to continue to exist as an independent nation. And
you're doing your damnedest by shutting down industry, making sure that we can't get our products to market, all of these things that, I don't know, are required to have sovereignty. They're killing our sovereignty. When it comes down to it, we're handing over our sovereignty. This is what Canada's public officials are doing. They're handing over Canada's sovereignty by destroying all of our metrics to maintain it. And we're going to have a choice at the end of the day. We're going to have to ask for help. And who's going to be there to help us? Is it going to be the people that they're talking trash about, our neighbors to the south? Or is it going to be the people from across the pond with ill intent? China already owns Canada. Yeah, a large part of it.
For this, on the eve of the 60th anniversary of the Canadian flag, I encourage Canadians to reflect what that symbol means. That symbol that has been in war zones. That symbol that has been, as Canadians went to fight famines in other countries. That symbol of openness and inclusion that is the direct opposite to the...
Would you be open to right-leaning ideas or include them? Of course not.
Politics of Elon Musk and Donald Trump. This week, we saw the shameful actions by Donald Trump to negotiate with Vladimir Putin, another gangster, to sell the people of Ukraine out. Mr. Putin thinks that Vladimir Putin is a savvy genius and he detests our country. Well, he's sending us a very clear message of the kind of man he is. Our neighbors are no longer our allies. We are dealing with a regime next door to us, Charlie, that is ignoring the international rule of law. And
okay, here's the thing. You're not going to negotiate peace without talking to the parties involved in the conflict. This is how you negotiate peace. This is not how it's done, Charlie. Charlie boy, ain't working out. Your system of diplomacy ain't working out. La. No, ain't working out. So we're going to have to talk.
We have to take this dead serious as a nation, with our political leaders, but with ordinary Canadians. So what do we do right now? Well, I'm extremely encouraged by the incredible response we've received from the Pledge for Canada that's now, just in the space of 2 weeks, had over 62,000 people sign up. People from across the political spectrum. Former Prime Minister... 62,000
people. Do you think 62,000 people is going to put a dent in the United States economy? Let's hear them out!
Mr. Kim Campbell, former Attorney General Alan Rock, former Premier Danny Williams.
Yeah, that's right. Denny with the 279 super chat saying the same flag we used for the Freedom Convoy. Yeah, that same flag, that same one.
But also the incredible artists and Indigenous activists and labor activists and ordinary people across this country who said that there's a value to our nation that we're willing to defend. And I also want to encourage and thank the ordinary people who on their own began the boycott of all things American. Stupid. Now, some might think, well, you know, if you just choose not...
So this is a long-lasting gesture that is not going to be forgotten by the Americans, and it doesn't harm them. It will harm us long run. Don't you forget that.
To go down to Tennessee this year.
Oh, don't go down to Tennessee.
Notice? Well, right now we're seeing the American tourism industry is in full-on panic.
Oh, are they?
There are now over $2 billion in travel that is at risk. That's 140,000 American jobs. That's if just 10% of Canadians cancel their trips.
Yeah, just if 10% of Canadians cancel their trips. Do you know what else might cause that? The crashing Canadian dollar and us not being able to afford anything over there. That's what causes that. It's not his Canada First initiative. That's not what's stopping people from going down there. That's ridiculous.
It's still too early to say how many are canceling, but from the evidence that we're gathering, it's much, much higher than 10%.
Oh.
And it's about sending a message to Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who said Canada was going to learn a lesson. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Texas is going to teach Canada a lesson.
Yes.
Well, we've got $400 million worth of travel that goes to Texas, Mr. Abbott. How about we teach you a lesson and say we got better places to go than Texas?
Yeah. See, this is the problem that Mr. Charlie Angus hasn't figured out. Charlie boy, this is what you need to figure out. You are right that Canadians are not going to Texas to vacation this year. They're moving there permanently to escape this socialist hellhole that you helped create. That's right. They're leaving. They're leaving. What are you gonna what are you gonna replace all these Canadians with? Uber drivers? Seriously, there's not a whole swath of skilled professionals that are lining up to come to Canada. No. We've got people that are cheating our immigration system to come here with no skills. No skills whatsoever. And the people with skills are bailing. And they're bailing because the industries are bailing. It's absolutely nuts. Charlie the idiot. Is Angus even running again? I thought he's not. He's done. But he's out here doing this. It's crazy. Anna with the long name that I probably can't pronounce for $2. Thank you so much for the super chat. Socialists support Canada only when we tell you to. That's right. That's right. Only support Canada when we tell you to. Because otherwise, ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. I got bronchitis. I can't support Canada. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Like the hypocrisy that comes out of these words that I can't say on this platform. Words that I can't say on this platform. I'm still laughing at my joke. Angela, what joke was that? I must have missed it. Charlie is retiring. Is he going to Florida? Is he going to Florida, is he? That's interesting. Theorica, I think I'm pronouncing it right this time, for $5, says, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The G in Charlie Angus is silent. I like that. I like that. That's good. Canada's about to lose a carpenter in March for my replacements, who most likely be baristas and Tim Hortons employees. Good luck, brother. And that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Groove Yard 63, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining in as a member. That's fantastic. Really appreciate it. I think you'll enjoy your stay here and enjoy those extra live streams that you can watch at your leisure, especially the Wednesday night live streams with Marty. If you can't catch them on Wednesday evenings, you can catch the whole thing, including the Q&A afterwards. That's a thing. Charlie Angus is terrible. You're right, Tamara. You're absolutely right. It's it's so infuriating. And I've been having one of these infuriating weeks because it's been going on like this more and more and more. More and more and more and more. Global News reporting this week. Canadian man sells both Teslas, cancels Cybertruck order to boycott Elon Musk. Because he'll show you. He'll show you, America. We're going to get you by getting rid of electric cars. Unbelievable. Stupidity is a point of pride for some Canadians, and the media loves to brag about it. Let's have a look at this story. Canadian man sells both Teslas, cancels Cybertruck order to boycott Elon Musk. A Quebec man is selling his 2 Teslas and canceling his Cybertruck order because he now refuses to support Elon Musk. Why? Because Musk is showing corruption and fraud. I mean, what else do you have to say about this? I really don't know. Honestly, I'd like to hear a good take from somebody on why it is that Musk shouldn't be in his position. I just keep hearing this. We shouldn't have unelected whatever Musk. He's doing stuff and he's stopping things. Well, what is he stopping? What has he done so far that you disagree with? Waste, fraud, and abuse. Waste, fraud, and abuse. He's rooting it out and he's getting rid of it. I'm still waiting to hear that. He's unelected. Yeah. And his job is to get rid of other unelected bureaucrats and then step down at the end of his job. He's got a 4-year mandate and then step down. That's it. Unreal. We love Elon. Yeah. Musk is only stopping the stuff put in by the former administrations. Well, he's only stopping the stuff put in by other former administrations. Yeah. I mean, that's the only stuff that's in there. They're only 3.5 weeks in. It's crazy. I like Musk. We need him here in Canada after Doge. I doubt he's going to spend any time on Canada. I'm just going to be honest with you. We do need a Doge here in Canada. We've heard different acronyms for it. Moose. I think there was someone made an elaborate one. Beaver. Some good ones. It was good. But this is the thing. So yeah, Alain Roy says Musk's U.S. Inauguration Day salute was the straw that broke the camel's back. What, the one that all those Democrats did as well? Heather Mary with the 279 super chat says Carney is unelected. Touche. But that salute was I'm throwing my heart at you, folks. I'm throwing my heart at you. That was the thing. Franco Terrazzano for Maple Doge. I couldn't disagree with that at all. No, Franco Terrazzano would be a great pick for that. And Marty would come out of retirement just to join that. Absolutely. But that's different, right? God Sad. I don't know. I think God Sad would have better roles in other parts if we had a government that wanted to dismantle the bureaucracies. Carney is Michael Quanta. What? Quant who? Marnie is Michael. Oh, sorry. I thought there was a Q there. Ignate. I can't even pronounce that. 2.0. Who's that? Milady Loves Cats gifting 10 memberships to the channel. If you just got a membership from Milady Loves Cats, give a big old thank you in the chat. Thank you so much. Wow, that's really generous of you. Thank you. But let's get on with this. Musk, the world's wealthiest individual, founder of SpaceX, owner of X, formerly Twitter, CEO of Tesla, and more, has become a polarizing figure in recent months since aligning himself with U.S. President Donald Trump. While Roy says he loves his Tesla Model Y and S EVs for all their high-tech advanced features, the Montreal area resident told Global News he can't stand driving them any longer. It's Musk I don't like, he said. Both he and his wife each drive one. And halfway through ordering a third, this time, the Cybertruck. Yeah. Talk about first world problems, right? So many Canadians can't afford a second vehicle. They're carpooling with each other, organizing rides to go to their separate jobs just to keep a roof over their head. But this guy, I'm going to cancel my third vehicle. I'm going to cancel that. Mick Douche, it was Musk's now famous Inauguration Day gesture that he described as what looked like a Nazi salute. What about the liberals who invited an actual Nazi to Parliament and did a standing ovation for him? I don't know. Did that bother you? Mick Douche? Did that bother you at all? How about that? Just throwing that one out there. But it looked like he did a thing. So, but that's the last straw. That's the straw that broke the camel's back. Oh, are we done yet? Bothered me. Oh my goodness. It's nuts. It's nuts. What? Musk responded to allegations that he performed a Nazi salute at President Trump's inauguration and dismissed it as dirty tricks by critics. It is. And then came all of the same, Democrats doing the same thing. Let's not forget liberals still have a total and complete ability to what? Complete ability to bring about proportional representation in order to completely stop the conservatives. Do you think that would stop the conservatives? King of James 2007. King of James. What am I saying? With a $2 super chat. Barrick Mining wants to relocate to the U.S. from Canada. Yeah, I am not surprised. I'm absolutely not surprised whatsoever. Milady Loves Cats with a $27.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Very generous of you tonight, Milady Loves Cats. Thank you. Says, you're on fire tonight. Oh, Clyde. Great stream tonight. Thank you. I'm just winging it because I didn't even know what to do with myself today. I was just been kind of frustrated with all of this stuff. And I gotta honestly say, I just have to honestly say, a little disappointed by the reaction from my response to what's been going on. I've had a number of people bail from the channel entirely, jumping on board with this Team Canada thing, and I'm sad to see that happen. Clyde works best on antibiotics. Oh, that's new. That's new. I like it. That's good. So people are dumb for leaving your show. So this is the thing. Like, I'm unapologetic about this one. I'm unapologetic about this one. I think that America is moving in the right direction and Canada is absolutely moving in the wrong direction. And to try to go against what's happening in America is absolutely the wrong move. I understand patriotism. I understand all that stuff, but people are being tugged by their heartstrings and they're falling for it. They're absolutely falling for it. Heather Marie said, for $2.79, says donated the $200 rebate to Polyev. Oh, wow. So you got a $200. So I'm in British Columbia. I didn't get anything. I didn't get sweet FA. But good for you. You know, like if you want to take that and you want to put it towards a political campaign, that's absolutely awesome. Now, I'm not 100%, and I'm going to get flack for this. I'm not 100% keen on all the things that Pierre has been saying right now. I'd love to see him step up to the plate and be Team Liberty. Forget this Team Canada crap. And I'm not saying forget Canada in this. I'm saying Canada has a strong history, culture, all of these things. Absolutely stand up for that. When Justin Trudeau, who said previously that Canada fundamentally doesn't have a culture and fundamentally is not even a nation, we're the first post-nation state, call that out explicitly. Call that out explicitly. And take him on for that. Take him on for that. The thing is, like, I'm not saying Pierre is coming from a bad position. I'm just saying he's not coming out swinging, which he could. He has to do that. No, that's not what I'm expecting at all. No, not at all. Just at least be on the same page. How about saying Canada has a tremendous amount of corruption and we would love to root it out. And I think that rooting it out is probably the best thing we could do. Heather Marie with another $2.79 says, I agree. Pierre needs to pull up his socks. Yeah, I'd love to see that. And I get it. I get this whole concept of, you know, don't interrupt your enemy while he's making mistakes, but just they don't seem to be making mistakes. They seem to be winning people over with this stuff because people are, there you go, thinking emotionally, not logically. That's what's going on here. That's what's happening. Now, I would like to see Canada step up to the plate and say things like, we're going to root out the, you know, corruption in our government. And you know, along the same lines as what Pierre has been saying, we're going to do this not because Donald Trump wants it. We're going to do it because we want it. Now, Pierre, don't get me wrong. Pierre is saying some good things. He is saying some good things. Here's the wake-up call video he put out recently.
These tariff threats are a wake-up call. The Carney-Trudeau Liberals have destroyed our economy over the last 9 years. Let's think about this for a second. The Carney-Trudeau Liberal policies that doubled housing costs, doubled food bank lineups, doubled our national debt, and sent $500 billion out of our country to the United States were wrong before. They are absolutely dangerous now.
Yes, they are dangerous now. Mr. Sunday with a $5 super chat says, Pierre is missing his moment. I think the people are impotent against the scale of corruption. Canada isn't for sale because it's already sold out. Great point. That is, I like that. That is good. That is such a good way of saying it. Yeah, Canada isn't for sale because it's already been sold. That's exactly where it is. So, yeah, Pierre's playing catch up right now, and his demographic is looking at him going, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Let's talk tougher here. Let's talk a lot tougher than what we've been talking. Very good. I'm going to use that one. Yeah. Holy cow. And are we ever in a pickle? Are we ever in a pickle? Yeah, we could go boycott. Let's boycott all the American goodies. Is that going to do us any good? You know, we're fortunate that American companies want to send their stuff here, despite all the restrictions we put on their things. We put a lot of restrictions on their goods that we don't have restrictions entering their market for. This is a reality check that people need to come to grips with, and we're willing to put it all on the line for a handful of Quebec farmers. That's right. Here's Francois Legault talking about where Canada sits and what is a non-starter, what is a non-negotiable about the products from our country.
Just want to say a few words on dairy. In Quebec, we are against changing the management of the offer. The reason why we have that is to protect our regions, all right?
Is that, you think people didn't know that? People didn't know that a 250% tariff on a product is to protect particular people in a particular market while screwing over everybody who's a consumer in that market? Yeah, that's what that is.
So we don't give any subsidies to milk producers.
Yes, you do. You do in the form of tariffs. You're not subsidizing it with the money. You're subsidizing it with eliminating every other potential competition in the market. You're subsidizing it with higher prices with the consumer. That's right. And by dumping milk in fields when there's too much supply.
Sir? So the only thing we do is we manage the offer, and it's a way to protect small farms in all the regions. So for us, it's not negotiable.
It's not negotiable. I know that the English, they told us in 2024 that we can go, I think they said, suck the lemon. Yeah, we were told to go away. They walked away from the negotiation table when we were making a free trade agreement with England in January of 2024. They said 250% tariffs on milk and cheese products. Goodbye. We want nothing to do with that. Come back when you've put your big boy pants on, little junior Canada. We are a young country and we're swinging our thing around as if we have some clout that we do not have. We do not have this clout. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's for what? A bunch of corrupt politicians in Quebec that want to keep this dairy mafia going? They embarrassed themselves. Yes, they did. Absolutely. And this is the thing. More and more and more and more people are realizing what this is all about. And at the end of the day, if Joe steelworker loses his job, if Joe aluminum manufacturer loses his job, if I know Joe and Joe, they both do the same thing. They're both working in metal industries, but Jim over there in the auto sector, what if he loses his job? And how about Frank at the refinery losing his job? Why? So Billy can still pull on udders? Are you kidding me? This is just ridiculous. There is arable soil in these areas where there are farms, and those farmers, if they can't compete in the marketplace, they can do other things. That arable soil will still be there. The manufacturing of aluminum might move to the United States of America. The manufacturing of steel might move to the United States of America. The refinery, now that they've canceled it with that $11 billion deal, that $11 billion is going to go to America. That's right. We will not get that back. We still have the arable soil where farmers who know how to milk cows could also do something else. It's unbelievable. I've probably told this story many, many times before. But if you haven't heard it, I'll bring this up right now. Right after this, Denny Ringaz with a 279 super chat says, I still support your channel and enjoy the stream. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Again, I'm not going to be apologetic about my criticism of this whole Team Canada BS, because it's an affront. It was Team Canada until the tariffs went away for a minute, and then they didn't care about Canada whatsoever again. And then now the tariffs are back on the table. Team Canada again. Hey, let's all pull out that nationality and wear it on our sleeves. That's the thing. Heather Marie with the 6.99 super chat says, Quebec, no to dairy or purple ones. We need to stop subsidizing them, and they pay less carbon tax. Yeah, they pay less carbon tax. But let me give you a reminder of, so back in the day in the United States, they put on a tariff on sugar products coming from Central and South America. And the reason why they did this is they wanted to protect the farmers in Louisiana, Florida, and the southern regions that were trying to grow sugarcane and compete in the marketplace. Now, they were doing okay until the market started opening up and, all of that stuff started coming through. And I'm talking at the turn of the 19th century, right? This is a long time ago. So the U.S. decides to put on a tariff on sugar products coming up from the southern border. So years go by, those farmers still couldn't compete in the marketplace, even with the tariffs in place. So what did they do? They retooled. They started farming other stuff. All this time later, we still have those tariffs. Isn't that just ridiculous? Isn't that absolutely ridiculous? Those tariffs should go away. It's protectionism. It didn't work. It didn't help. And who loses out in the whole situation? Well, the consumer, of course. Canada has no large aluminum rollers to make simple cans for beer and drinks. We have huge problem here. Yeah, we do not have infrastructure, and we have nobody lining up to give us the capital to get more infrastructure. This government has set the stage for capital consumption. The capital is moving. It's going. It's filing out. It's shifting out of here, and it's the deindustrialization of the nation. This is James Lindsay's been talking about this forever. This is what China has wanted. This is what the neo-Marxists have been pushing for, deindustrializing the Western world. Are they doing it for the environment? Are they doing it because they love Gaia or whatever thing they're trying to worship in the moment? No, they're useful idiots that are setting the stage for a new Chinese century by the Communist Party of China. That's what they're doing. I Love Freedom for $10 says, my rebate is going to They Lied CA, Druthers CA, NCI, JCCF, and Take Action Canada. The reason for the surge in flag sales is probably largely related to Conservative Party planning tomorrow's event. I'm interested to see what this event holds out. I know that they're talking about bringing out the flag. We'll see. We'll see how that pans out. We'll see what they actually propose. Hopefully they have new ideas, because people are getting tired a little bit of the sloganism, the slogans, all of that stuff. But I mean, I digress. That's but who do we have on the other side? We've got Money Printer Go Brr. That's who we've got. Money Printer Go Brr Carney, the one trick pony. And this should be his name. I don't know why they're not already calling him this. It's One Trick Pony Carney. He was the governor of the Bank of Canada. What did he do? Money Printer Go Brr. He was the governor of the Bank of England. What did he do? Money Printer Go Brr. He's got one trick alone, and that's all he's got. That's all he's got on his plate. Diane Sylvain with a $5 super chat says, Karina Gould introduced UBI out loud today. Obvious where the libs want Canada to go, social credit scores, China, etc. Yeah, actually, let's get into that. I got to pull up my feed here just a moment. Bear with me because I had that saved somewhere, but I don't know exactly where. I'm gonna have to find it because my mind is scatterbrain right now. It's totally just apologies. It's a thing. Make hemorrhoids shrink again. Clyde, do something. Is that a thing? Karina Gould is doing her best to bury this country 6 feet under. UBI will do that. Carney's got the same thing on his plate. But this is it. When you're finding fraud and somebody yells stop, that's who's doing the fraud. That's I love this. Elon Musk has so many good tweets coming out this just past little bit. It's amazing. Yeah, if you're not already following Elon, get over there and follow. And while you're at it, give Mark Nixon a follow because he's got great stuff coming up all the time. Yeah, just he's on the ball. He's absolutely on the ball. John Joe, Clyde, keep doing it. What am I doing that you want me to keep doing? Love your rants, as I feel the exact same way. So here's the thing. I'm trying my best not to be like black-pilled or whatever. I think there's a silver lining and there's a direction that we can be going because we look at America, we look at Argentina. They're doing things and they're doing things right. And they're moving towards, you got it, liberty. I'm team liberty. Forget team Canada, forget team US, forget team, I don't know, Zimbabwe, who cares? Team liberty. If you're not bringing liberty to this nation, you are not on the team. You're not on the team, goodbye. Wave the flag, sure. Wave the ensign, sure. That's great. I'm right with you on that. You tell me that I should hate Americans, get stuffed. Get stuffed. Big ol' one of these, right? That's where I'm at. Oh boy. F the team. No, Team Liberty. Team Liberty is where we're at. Would you rather become 51st state liberals or 9 more years? Or liberals 9 more years? Sorry for the question. Pull it if you don't want to answer. Would you rather become 51st state or liberals for 9 more years? Okay, that's easy. 51st state's not on the table. It's not a real thing. It's not on the table, but it's a great excuse for the liberals to come forward, have an emergency, and suggest things like this. This is insane.
With Trump threatening to impose tariffs on steel and aluminum on March 12th, your fellow leadership candidate, again, Craig Freeland, says it would not be ideal to leave the polls right after the party selects its new leader on March 9th. What do you think of this?
Look, I think we need to see where we are on March 9th. I think we need to understand what the situation with the United States is. If we are in a full-blown tariff war with the U.S., that might be a reason not to go to the polls. But we are also in a minority government. And so it's actually not just up to...
We're in the longest running minority government in Canadian history. Somehow we managed to stay in power. Wow. I love your laugh moon eyes when we're in a minority government. You guys are corrupt. Let her go.
The government at the time, there would have to be an agreement with the opposition parties if we weren't.
It's so funny seeing people wanting to boycott U.S. using a U.S. app. Oh, thanks, Trish Brew with the $6.99 super chat. That is great. Yeah. Well, boycott the United States. Get on that Canadian social media company application. Why don't you? While you're at it, sell your Tesla and your GM and your Chrysler and your Ford and your Toyota that's made in the United States, your Kia that's made in the United States, all of these different companies that are made get out of here. It's ludicrous. It's so ludicrous. But sorry, that cracked me right up. That's good.
With the opposition parties, if we weren't to do that. But I think whatever decision...
There's one opposition party, and it's just the Conservatives, all the other opposition parties are actually on your side. They've been voting for you and with you all the time. Why does she talk like that? Why do these women in politics talk like you're an infant? I don't get it. A woman, answer me this question. Why do women talk like this? Women don't need to talk like this. I talk to women all the time. They don't speak like this to me. This is that's asinine when they talk like this. Her, Freeland, a bunch of them. Yeah.
Decision we take has to be one that is responsible for Canadians. And one of the things I can say is that, in Ontario, the Premier has decided to call an election at a time where, his energy might be better spent.
Oh, well, we shouldn't call elections. To hell with democracy. That's awful. Oh, Ashley Cinnamon. I hope I'm pronounced that. Is that actually cinnamon? Just spelled differently. With a $69.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Very, very generous of you. Trump wants Canada. Trump will get Canada. Be their first to the tables as a province. Get the best deal. I'm Albertan. We should have a hell of a deal. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that there may be it may be written into the future that some sort of balkanization of Canada, and then some of the parts of Canada being absorbed into the United States as states. But again, there is not a single red state or a Republican official that wants a majority of Canada to be in the voting demographic of the United States, period. It's just not going to happen. I could see Alberta annexing into the United States, but I mean, it's a long shot that all of Canada would slowly merge into the United States, maybe become territory. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about that. But thank you for that. That's very generous of you. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Ashley. RC Lamoureux with a $20 super chat says, the farmers aren't the problem. The milk lobby represents packaging companies. That's why we pay $7 a pound for butter. The farmers need to run a cooperative business to package their own products. Farmers are barely surviving. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking this out on the farmers. You're right. You're absolutely right. It is this scheme. The people who are making the money out of this whole scheme are the corrupt government officials and the people running this mafia. They're the ones making the money. Now, farmers would be best served if they were to get out of this lobby, but they're just surviving. But retooling would cost them more money, and they would go without profits we're talking like maybe a year or two. If they were to retool and get into another industry. What Canada really needs to do is dismantle this lobby and then assist these farmers in retooling in a new industry. That's what needs to happen. And it needs to happen within have a 2 to 5 year window to actually wean these farmers into something else. That would be something that would be just and everyone could get on board with and say, okay, get them into a new industry, and then say adieu to this whole afuera to this whole system. Let's not blame the farmers, absolutely, but they're the ones that are being held up as this we need to save these guys, when it's them that's screwing those guys over and the rest of Canada. Absolutely. We should be getting way cheaper milk, and we should be getting it from the States, period. American milk is no problem. There's nothing wrong with American milk. All the scaremongering is just BS, in my estimate. I'm happy with American milk products. I'll bring them back when I come back from the US. And if you come back with too much, you're a smuggler, the cheese smuggler. There are too many Canadian cheese smugglers. It's crazy. Heather Marie with $6.99 super chat says, someone mentioned earlier Smith should say oil isn't on the table like Quebec said dairy is a no-go. No, she's not. I was going to say she's not dumb, right? You don't come to the negotiation table saying nothing's on the table. Everything's on the table. You come to the negotiation table and you allow the other side to give an offer. You say, what are you willing to offer? Donald Trump is a hard bargain. He's saying, I'm going to take your whole country. I want it to be a state. You're going to be a state. I'm absorbing you. Back you into a corner. It's the art of the deal, of course. Now you're in the back, you're in the corner, and you don't know what to do, and you're like, okay, I'll try to make a concession here and there. He's wanting Canada to make all these concessions. Of course. It's negotiation. This is how it works. You play hardball. But oil isn't on the table. Smith said no. Smith said so. It's not on the table. There you go. I didn't know if she said that or not. But yeah, no, it's giving up oil is not on the table. Of course, she said that to the Canadian provinces. Oil's not on the table for. They wanted to say take oil away from U.S. exports. No, that's not on the table. Alberta is going to sell their product to the markets that they can sell their product to, and if Canada gets in the way, well, Canada is the problem. Canada's already in the way. Let's just be honest. The Canadian government is already in the way of Alberta and their export markets, and they have been for a long, long time. Ashley Cinnamon with another $6.99 super chat says, Trump will punish the East with territory status and grant statehoods to the West. You get what you give. Tariff the red states. That could be an option. And believe me, the West wouldn't feel bad about it. Now, imagine that, hey? Imagine if the tables turned and the West had all of the political influence and was making all the money, and the East was, suffering and not able to make ends meet. I'd feel sorry for them. But there's going to be a lot of dry eyes in the West. I'll tell you that. No, Clyde, you're American. Canadians will not give up our land, our country, our culture. I said that. But there are a lot of Canadians that are right on board with it. So, I mean, you can contest that with them. I'm either way. I've said this a million times. I'm either way. I love Canada. If Canada was part of America, it's still Canada. I'm still a dual citizen. I'm still eligible to live in both. So you can take that up with Canadians that want to be in the United States. As my American side doesn't want a giant left voting bloc in America. I don't want that. Lady Trucker with a $10 super chat, welcome back, by the way, says the people of Canada need to create an app and call it the People's Canadian Party app. Have a petition in the app to get rid of the liberal leaders. Make sense? Maybe. Give it a go. Somebody good in the community at writing, making an app. Could we make that in our community? Could we just like single-handedly like just make that happen with volunteers and people who know how to do this stuff? Utaka saying Frank Vaughan talked about what Canada is today, and he's 100% on point. I'd have to get Frank Vaughan's point. I've been listening to Frank Vaughan for a while now. He's fantastic. I mean, like, I gotta say the stuff that I disagree with him on is very few and far in between. At this point, yeah, absolutely. And, to the people that come into the chat, and I get it. Canadian patriotism, Canadian this and that, but it's manifesting in some pretty ugly ways, to be honest. Like, it is. I'm going to have to pull something up. I had a bunch of stuff queued here. Let me just get rid of some of these tabs because it's just, it's gross. But like the response to this, just it gets kind of cringe, right? Here's Donald Trump saying a thing, right? And it's really loud, so I'll turn it down. TLDR, Canada is the people, not the government. That's right. I don't know how this slipped past people when I'm saying about this stuff. I agree with you 100%, Clyde. Thank you. The booing is classless. Totally agree. Totally agree. Canada is the people. It's not our damn government. It isn't. And if you're jumping and going, okay, Mr. Trudeau, Mr. Ford, I'm fully on board with you because you're waving a flag now. Well, dude, wake up. Wake up. So Trump had this to say.
It has been very bad to us on trade, but now Canada is going to have to start paying up. And Canada's been tough on the military because they have a very low military cost. They think we're going to, protect them with our.
Do anybody in the chat here think that he's wrong about that? Canada doesn't spend enough money on their military, doesn't support their military, and doesn't have enough for the country. We've been screeching about this for years. And suddenly, is Donald Trump wrong? No, he's absolutely right when he says that.
Our military, which is unfair. So Canada is going to be a very interesting situation because, we just don't need their product. And yet they survive off the fact that we do 95% of what they do. And Canada is just absolutely, I say it, and sometimes people smile and sometimes they say great idea, but Canada, their taxes would come down greatly, their security would go up greatly. Amazing things happen to Canada, and really Canada in this particular, why would we pay $200 billion a year in subsidies to Canada when they're not a state? You do that for a state, but you don't do that for somebody else's country.
So what he's talking about the subsidies, he's talking about how much they protect us. We don't pay our bills for protecting this geographical area. And we're not doing it. We're totally reneged on that. We've reneged on our NATO membership. We've reneged on all of the spending that we should be doing. Our military, we've been screeching about this for 2 years about how we have only enough munitions to protect ourselves for 3 days, and then it's over. It's done. We're not doing our obligation. Drew Coover with a $2 super chat says, we need more security. You're absolutely right. We need more security. Ashley Cinnamon with a $13.99 super chat. You're very generous tonight, Ashley. Thank you very much. Says, honest question. Do you think Trump can force Canada to be a state through economic sanctions? I sure do. Trump has given his citizens so many wins. Some even only in hardship is nothing. I think he could. I think he could. Is that what's going to happen? Again, I doubt it. I don't think they want a left voting bloc in their in their country. I really can't see a Republican bringing in a geographical state that would ensure that the Democrats are voted in perpetuity forever. Mike, member for 13 months, says Quebec is in the way of Alberta, not Canada. Well, I'd say Ottawa. Ottawa is largely in the way of Canada, of Alberta as well. But yes, Quebec is a big problem when it comes to trying to get energy to market. They're not holding up their end of the deal. They love Alberta money. They don't like helping facilitate its accruement, let's to say the least on that one. So Donald Trump is right in saying that Canada's not pulling their weight militarily. They're not doing their responsibility, and frankly, it's become annoying that we pay all this and then we don't have any privileges when it comes to Canada. We don't have any privileges even though we're protecting you just by proximity of being near the largest military superpower in the world. It's true. Drew Coover with another $10 super chat saying, I hope Trump doesn't, but it would be so easy for the USA to do what they want to us. Not for us. Yeah. It would be very easy. It would not be difficult. Is that what's going to happen? I don't think so. But he's playing hardball. He's saying we protect you and we want some things in return. You want, you have unfettered access to our economy. We have absolute restricted access to your economy, a tiny little economy, a tiny, tiny little economy. You don't even allow yourself to trade with each other provincially. Super dysfunctional economy. We want equal access to your economy. We want an ability to bring our companies in and be able to operate within your geographical border, as you have your companies come and work and operate within our geographical border. Why is there such a disparity when we owe nothing to you in this exchange? Mr. Sunday with a $5 super chat says, you're on fire. I think YouTube is blocking my super chat. Please read previous comment. Where's your previous comment? I gotta scroll for it. Mr. Sunday, where are you, Mr. Sunday? Let's find your previous comment. I can't find it. Oh no. I'm looking. Do me a favor, just post it again. I'll read it. That's way easier than me searching for it again. Just post it again. And just put at Clyde, do something at the beginning of it, and I should be able to see it. It usually makes it brighter, it pops up. Now everyone's gonna do that for their questions. Lady Trucker for $10 says, Clyde, I was trying to respond back, but apparently I'm being censored. Listen, I have all of the stuff turned to open. It's yeah, and my moderators, they only take down messages that are you know, people abusing each other or whatever. I even have it on them to, you know, if people say bad stuff about me, whatever, let it ride. Who cares? I'm not I can take it. I'm a big boy. I can take it. Give it to me. Mr. Sunday, Clyde. Trucker convoy raised money super fast. This is why the Liberals invoked the Emergencies Act. They were a political movement that could outraise the Liberals. We should Team Liberty them and mobilize. I like that. I like it. Curtis, thank you. I appreciate it. We're not an echo chamber. That's right, G. And I have it on instruction. Like, people, if they want to say bad stuff about me, whatever, you knock your socks off. Spamming will get you kicked out of the chat. And being abusive to other people, like not commenting for the purpose of anything constructive, just like straight up just being abusive, you're gonna get yoinked. That's how that works. But for everything else, if anything's not showing up in the chat, that is not us. And I don't have any safe words or anything like that. That would be YouTube. Hello, Clydesters at work, but we'll try to engage when I can. Awesome, Dale. Great to have you. YouTube have been real asses lately. Several peeps complaining about comments missing on several channels. Something's going on. Okay, so just so you know, it's not me. It's definitely not me. Pardon me. I'm just getting thirsty, and I actually even brought some extra coffee because I knew this was going to be one of those nights. But let's get into this. Before we get into this, I want to do a little commercial. I'm going to move this over here. I got to do an ad for the coffee because you guys know how it is. I'm doing this as much as I can because we got to make it work. YouTube is a place that you guys are so generous and I love it. But I want you guys to have a good product at the same time. So head on over to the Clyde Do Something store. We are very proud. Myself and my good friend Yuji have been working on this product. It is just the two of us. We're bringing coffee to you for the community. I love this. I'm drinking this right now. We actually spend time on our own days off making this product for you. It's small batch roasting, and I've been learning a ton. Yuji's a master roaster. I've been learning a ton on what makes coffee work, what makes it good, what makes it delicious, what kind of beans to get, how to do the profile of the roast, and I've been definitely involved in the QC portion of it. But tune in, get yourself some MAGA medium. We're making Americanos great again. We have dark humor, your morning coping mechanism, and even a decaf if you're having it at night. That is probably your best option if you plan on sleeping this evening. So head on over to Clyde, do something .com where you can get this stuff. Sorry, we're sold out on that mug. We still have some of this mug that's out there. On the other side of it, of course, it's got the Clyde Do Something logo on there, and it's baked on. It's actually like quality's raised. It's beautiful quality product that we have there. And I do also want to send you guys over, because we're talking about money printer go burr. This is what's been happening in Canada right now. We're looking at an economic situation. Canadian consumer insolvencies just saw another 2019 like growth surge. This is not good. So head on over to New World Precious Metals, where these guys are helping people protect your savings. As the dollar keeps dropping, really what you're looking at is the amount of value in your currency is going down. But this is how it works. Gold has been one of these commodities that's been used as money for centuries. Back in the day, you could use an ounce of gold and you could buy a fine tailored suit and a good dinner. A fantastic dinner at a nice gourmet restaurant. It used to be like that. It's still like that today. What's the difference? The money's been devalued. Your money that you earned yesterday, inflation is soaring, and it's a tax on the value of the money that you already have out there. Got a QR code here if you want to go check them out there. But even better yet, they're putting together a seminar specifically for this channel. So members of this channel, not even just members, but viewers of the channel that want to get involved in this is happening this month. The date, I think it's the 25th, and it's gonna be at 6 p.m. Pacific time. That's 9 o'clock Eastern. It's gonna be virtual, and here's Bryce Wade to tell you all about it.
On February 25th.
Whoop, let's go back to the beginning of the video.
Hey everyone, I wanted to invite you to a open workshop for just Clyde's community about how gold and silver can protect your family and your financial future. So many of us right now have concerns about the world, our government, the economy, what's happening, why it's happening, and these are all valid concerns because the people that we thought we could trust to run the world in our stead and in our name are obviously not doing that anymore. Right. So the big thing that we're facing right now is economic issues. Our economy is in decline. The tariffs are being implemented. There is war around the world that are creating chaos in the markets. So, the big question that a lot of people have is, how do I protect my family? Right. We all want to live in a world where we are safe and free to do what we want to do in our lives. And that's become under threat because of the things that our government is doing. Not only our government, but other governments as well, right? And in the last year, we've seen gold and silver rise about 40%, which is, although not historic, very significant, especially compared to previous years. And this trend we think is going to continue. So there are central banks, authoritarian regimes, and ultra high net worth individuals that are buying ungodly amounts of gold and silver.
Yeah, they are.
And this is what's
like
creating a significant increase in the price as well as demand. Now, on the other side of that, we also have shortages in these commodities. Silver is we make about 1 billion ounces a year, and that is going down in the next 3 to 5 years because some of the mines are going offline. They're reaching the end of their lifespan. And on top of all that, we have the markets that are at all-time highs, right? So we have massive increases in the valuations of companies and markets. We have multiple trillion-dollar companies now in the Magnificent Seven, and what that really means is that we're probably in a bubble that will eventually pop. And one of the ways that you can protect yourself from this is gold and silver. So the offer I'd like to give to everybody here is on February 25th, we're doing a private presentation for Clyde's community.
That's right.
So you can understand how gold and silver have protected people throughout turbulent times throughout history. And you'll see what this generational opportunity is that you could potentially increase your wealth. On top of that, we'll also do a quick Q&A session to answer any of the questions you might have regarding gold, silver, the economy, geopolitics, stuff like that. That's kind of my focus, is the geopolitics and the fundamentals of all of this. But if you have money in the markets right now, there is a risk that you will lose it in a market correction. The last one that we had was in 2008. So if you've seen The Big Short, you know that the markets are kind of corrupt to a degree. And so if you want to kind of understand and know more about what gold and silver has done for people in these situations, come and talk to us. So the event's going to be at 6 p.m. PST on February 25th. And if you're interested in this, you can either click the link below that will sign up for this on Eventbrite, or click the link below and there's an affiliate link for Clyde's community, and you can set up a call with us. So hope to see you there, and please bring lots of good questions, because we love good questions. Talk to you soon.
Absolutely. I'll make sure that this, so the link for this is in the description down below, but we'll also make sure that the link is up on the communities tab. If you're not sure where the communities tab is, just go to the main page for Clyde Do Something on YouTube, and we'll put it in there in the communities tab. I'll give out some reminders throughout the week, getting closer to the event, but get over there if you're interested. If you're just curious about it and you just want to learn more information, this is the whole point. Is like not a pressure sales kind of situation. It's really just for people that are curious. Perhaps you have your retirement savings and it's all in government bonds or something like that. Hey, get some of that, a portion of that over, and get it out of the government's hands, get it out of currency, get it into something that will preserve the wealth. It's really about preserving the value of the money that you earned. Absolutely. Let's get back, chat. And I saw super chat open, didn't run right out of the scroll. No, it hasn't yet. From Ashley Cinnamon for $13.99 says, imagine Trump tariff crushes on industry, one industry at a time. I'm guessing you're saying he gets to oil fields, offers workers visas to the States to build Trump's version. Industry by industry, he muscle drains Canada. Brain drain is now. You'd absolutely see that. I saw someone else saying in the chat, I'd love to go work down in Texas instead of doing the oil fields here in Canada. Well, if you have skills, get yourself tickets. Make sure that you have not just years of experience, but get your tickets in stuff. Most of these companies will help you get through this stuff. A lot of companies will want you to have your certificates in things for this stuff. But yeah, get on it. Get on it. Marty keeps talking about the H-1B visas and how they're available in industries where they're looking for more people to be working in those industries. That's where we got to go with this. But getting back to our regularly scheduled programming here, I wanted to get into some of this, and this is what like I said, I have been excited about what's been going on in America. I'm suffering from jealousy right now. I'm suffering from Jeep Talk Show saying, hey, welcome to the show, Tony. Texas is hotter, a lot hotter. Yeah, if you can't handle that, well, that's just the thing. A lot of people can't handle the Canadian cold. Similar sort of idea. I registered with the link for in your more section. Super simple. Yeah, just register, get in there, go check it out. But anyway, getting back to this, I am seriously suffering from America envy. This is what's happening. Canada needs what's happening in America to be happening in Canada. We, for all intents and purposes, are we more of a corrupt country? Leave it in the chat. Who do you think is more corrupt at the moment, Canada or the United States? And I'm talking like maybe per capita. We have more government per capita if you look at it. Leave a thing in the chat right there. Heather Gaudette with a $13.99 super chat with no message. Thank you so much. If you got something to say, pop it in there. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Thank you so much for that. Yes, Canada 100% is more corrupt. Are you joking? Canada, is that a 100 million %? But with America being as corrupt as they are, this is what they're seeing right now.
Here's something that's going to make your morning, or at least it's made mine, you know. In case you're not aware, a Ninth Circuit Court judge, a very liberal judge, by the way, has just issued a ruling saying that all those blanket pardons that Joey Dum Dum issued on his way out the door of the Oval Office, they are all unconstitutional.
Yeah, they are.
In the ruling, he states that they failed to meet the criteria to qualify for pardoning, right? You know, things like being charged with a crime or being tried, convicted, sentenced. Yeah. All those things have to be met before a pardon can be issued. So, you know, those pardons for Liz Cheney and Dr. Fauci and Adam Schiff or General Milley, yeah, they're all rendered null and void now. So grab your popcorn. This is going to get really fucking good. Have a good day.
Have a good day. No, that didn't make my day so much as I think it sort of made my day, because it made me jealous. It made me jealous because we're not seeing this stuff happening here in Canada, where we need to be seeing this stuff happening here in Canada. And it doesn't look like we're on the road to seeing this yet here in Canada. We need to have this happen. Canada needs a Milei afuera. That's what we need to have. We need a Trump. We need a Vance. We need an Elon Musk, even though he's from here. Just like so many others that found Canada to not be this bastion of freedom and liberty to start their businesses. As we brag about how great we are, how great we've been doing. We're just not there. We're just not there. And this Canada Pride stuff is really kind of getting annoying. I'm talking the unfounded pride, the being proud of being Canadian, by all means, absolutely. And there's a lot to be proud of. But some of this unfounded pride is just really kind of getting on my nerves. Diane Sylvain with a $10 super chat saying, Sam Cooper, today, U.S. seizes bad stuff shipment from Canada in Seattle as Washington pressures Ottawa on crime networks. 1 pound BC border. What happened to that 1% number? What happened to that 1% number? Yeah, it turns out they just haven't been apprehending that much. But maybe they'll be cracking down a little bit more, and that number is going to grow. Just you watch. TDS Pride. What? Big D with a $10 super chat. Thanks, Big D. Says, it's sad, but at one time I would have said we had more white collar cringe, and the U.S. had more blue collar crime. I'm guessing you're saying crime. U.S. had more blue collar crime, but honestly, I think we win on all fronts. Yeah, I think we win on all fronts. Per capita, I think we're way more corrupt. But so again, to this concept of undeserved pride, which kind of gets on my nerves. Where did I lost my place? I was trying to find that bit. Did I close the window? No, don't tell me I closed that window. No, don't tell me I closed it. Oh, I wanted to get into it. No, I have it right here. So that clip that I showed you of Donald Trump rightfully saying that Canada does not pull its weight militarily for the region. Coco Donnie, member for 15 months, says, hey, Dad, I was thinking about getting into organized crime, local, provincial, or federal. Love it. That's funny. That is really good. That's very fitting. So, wow. Elon Musk could expose our government's unnecessary spending once you become part of us. Again, there are so many Canadians that would love that. For me, it's either or. Doesn't make a difference for me. I would love to see the expose on the corruption. Mr. Roscoe Pico for 5 says, living on our grandparents' pride, what does Canada have to show on the last 40 years? That's a good point. That is a very good point. What does Canada have to show in the last 40 years? Jevon Jandro with a $27.99 super chat. Wow, very generous. Thank you. Says, I'm late to the live. Did you discuss that we are calling to deport Ilhan Omar, U.S. representative for Minnesota, for breaking her oath to the USA when she was immigrated? I did not know that was a discussion. No, I didn't get into that discussion just yet, but that's hilarious. If they went after her for anything, I thought it would be marrying her brother, immigration fraud. Good, finally she married your brother. Diane saying that. Yeah, because that's immigration fraud. You should get kicked out of the country for that. Omar married her brother, FFS. Yeah. Yeah. So getting to this point, because I'm going to dance around this a ton. Let's get back to it. Trump rightfully says that Canada does not pull its weight militarily. You know, if it was like Japan, where Japan does not have a military because the U.S. stepped in and said, you can't have a military. So therefore, they have put together the military. They're protecting the region. They have interests there. And, you know, Japan is trying to step up to the plate and say, hey, can we put together a military now? It's been a long time. We'd like to. At least under Abe, they were talking about that. And Trump at the time was like, yes, we'd love to see you pull your own weight. And, you know, the protection's there, but it needs to come with access. And Japan has always capitulated with the access to the marketplace. Canada does not. It is ridiculous. And what happens? We get people like this who say, and I gotta say, this is the most asinine thing I've ever heard. Times Canada needed USA military, 0. Times the USA has needed Canada's military. Iraq, Afghanistan, NORAD, Libya, Syria. Lists out a whole bunch of other things. This is completely asinine because these are times where Canada has stepped up and said, we will contribute. And usually it's because a lot of times Canadian soldiers are like, yeah, let's go. I want to do it. I want to be involved. And it's just that nation's thing, right? How many times has Canada been in a direct conflict with anybody? How many times has Canada led the charge on any conflict? You can't compare this. This is apples and oranges. Now, rightfully so or not rightfully so, yeah, there are military conflicts where the United States should not have gone in, and I disagree with. And we backed them up, sure, with what capacity that we had to back them up. And our soldiers fought hard and did all of that, right? Absolutely. But there is no times where the military has needed to be backing up a Canadian conflict. Yeah, there you go. It's a false equivalency. But not only that, how about you put a number 1 there, and it's the United States has always protected Canada from anyone ever entering their space. Ever. Just by proximity. If you're a little dude and you're walking around and you got a big guy with you, guess what? A lot of people aren't going to mess with you. It's just the way it is. It just is the way it is. Like, get used to that. I replied to this saying we couldn't shoot down a damn Chinese balloon in our own airspace. There's that. How about that? How about them apples? Right? Came to our aid. They came to our aid in that situation. How about that? Daniel Leduc jumped in there saying our Canadian Forces special operations groups have been instrumental in a number of missions. My father was a part of an assault pioneer in joint efforts with the JTF and the U.S. in locking down Iraq and Afghanistan. Don't belittle past successes with your rhetoric. I'm not doing that. I think this lady is, but I'm not doing that. I said, don't get me wrong, our servicemen are brave and deserve the recognition they get. Our military, on the other hand, is not capable of doing anything on their own, and especially ill-equipped to protect our own country. Tit for tat on who's stronger militarily is a ridiculous notion. It is absolutely a ridiculous notion. We're not even a competition with the United States of America. Let's not toy with ourselves and get these ideas in our head that we can even compare ourselves to the U.S. militarily, especially after we've been for years saying just how bad it is that we can't even protect ourselves. We got 3 days worth of munitions if there was an invasion in Canada. Done. Mr. Sunday with a $5 super chat says, Canada doesn't need U.S. Army because the USA is a great wall in a Game of Thrones. Yeah, you're not getting here because you got to get through them first. It's unbelievable. But we do have this stuff happening with the North, with the Arctic regions, and this is getting serious. And this is why Trump is cracking down. Ashley Cinnamon with a $6.99 super chat says, Donald Trump is confronting China ownership in Canada by current action. He pushes buttons. Truth comes to light in Canada. He's looking at citizens' responses. And I think a lot of us are dropping the ball and we're failing in our responses. I think this community is doing great, though, by the way. You guys are great. You're fantastic. Theorica with a $20 super chat. Thank you everybody. So generous tonight. This is amazing. I really appreciate it. Saying, hard to decide against the two kinds of corruption. One is guilty of millions gone for wars designated not to end or designed not to end. The others succumb to foreign actors and meant to destabilize the West. Take your pick. At least the USA is fixing it. That's the point. That is the point. And I think that is the main crux of it. And this is where my frustration comes from, is that the US is trying to fix their situation, and boy, are they doing a good job. Holy cow. It's just like some of the stuff I want to get into is just, whoa. Oh, it gets me excited. It actually does. It actually gets me excited to see some of the stuff that's happening. And some of it is like, you know, whatever. You could say, you know, it's unnecessary, like the Gulf of America, changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. I see it as a great step. Honestly, I see it as a great step because it's the opposite of what's been happening, right? It's the exact opposite. America has this idea of American exceptionalism. Canada needs to have an idea of Canadian exceptionalism. Not this fake faux stuff that makes us want to not buy Jack Daniels for a month. I'm talking about a real Canadian exceptionalism. There are things in Canada to be proud of, and we ought to be proud of those things. It really came out during the Freedom Convoy. Let's get that. Let's get that. Let's bring that out. This faux sense of pride is just awful. And how does it present itself? We're uniquely Canadian because we're not American. This is how these vapid, fake politicians, they only know how to go because they can't even relate with the average Canadian. They're so disconnected. And what do? They go to Washington and then they abandon what they were saying 5 minutes ago because they're so weak. They talk to an American politician and then they just grovel. As we saw with Dougie Boy this week. You know, Dougie Boy canceling contracts. Team Canada. Let's you know, what is it? Retaliatory tariffs. And now he's in Washington. He's like, yeah, no, retaliatory tariffs are not a great idea. Like, get lost. Liberal NDP needs to learn the FAFO lesson. Absolutely. Actually, I had a short on the channel specifically about that, but it was about David Eby because he's a piece of work, that guy. Let me pop it up because that was funny. I made myself laugh with it. I was giggling. Sometimes I make these shorts and they just make me giggle as I'm doing them. Oh, let's get this up on the screen. It shows that I'm up on the screen. Why is it not up on the screen? What are you doing? Come on back. There we go. This was the one.
effective today. I have directed BC liquor sales to immediately stop buying American liquor from red states.
From red
liquor
states.
Store employees will be removing the most popular of these brands from government store shelves.
A few moments later.
I'm just curious, how soon will British Columbia will see the liquor from Republican states being put back on the shelves?
We will pause all of our non-tariff measures here. It's a measure of good faith.
I just put this video in reverse.
See, as you can see, the more you around, the more you're going to find out. And also, if you stayed on here and you never around, you'll never find out.
You'll never find out. That's the key. That's the keys to the Cadillac right there. You never F around. You're never going to find out. What an embarrassment, right? That's where we're at. Oh, Kitty Nukes with the $5 super chat says, we used to hop over the border for dairy often. Miss Tillamook cheese and butter. I wouldn't totally hate being the 51st state enjoying the snow or enjoying the show. Thank you very much with your 20th super chat on the live stream. Wow, amazing. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah, the FAFO. How about the FAFO Cup? I don't know the FAFO Cup. Is that something? I gotta look that up. I like your clown shows, Clyde. Yeah, the clown shows are funny. Clown shows are really funny. Did you see this other one? Oh, I gotta pop it up. This some people don't like shorts, but if I play them in the live stream, they're kind of fun. This was Chrystia Freeland's new "She's Playing Hardball."
If you force our hand, we will inflict the biggest trade blow that the United States has ever endured.
Sad punch! Sad punch! Frowny kick!
Oops. It doesn't work out. It doesn't work out to exactly how you think it's going to work out. Would it for you there? That's, oh man, what do you even say to this? The reality of the situation though is when Americans hear about it, because Americans this is the last thing on their radar. They're not talking about Canada. They're not talking about what Canada's doing. They're not talking about a trade war with they're not thinking about that. It's not an issue. Now, the idea of a trade war with the United States from the Canadian side is detrimental. That's absolutely horrible. It's a horrible idea. Now, the Americans, you ask an American, especially if they're not even anywhere close to the border, they're like, "What? Oh, is there a trade war? Okay, what's that about? Oh, Donald Trump. Oh, Donald Trump's doing the hardball thing. Oh, Canada wants to retaliate? What? What? No, they're not gonna do. That's cute. Oh, they're not gonna do that. That would be the end of them. That's how they look at it. It's really that ridiculous. We are a tiny fraction of the things that they need. And when Donald Trump says we don't need their cars, we don't need their this or that, it's true. Now it'd be a massive inconvenience. Let me get this straight. It would be a massive inconvenience for a lot of industry, especially around the Great Lakes area, that kind of thing. It would be very inconvenient. And if it went on long enough, it would be the last time it was ever inconvenient. And the reason why I say that is because if there was a tariff on both sides of the border and they're manufacturing things and it has to cross the border a bunch of times before the product's finally finished, the Americans, the businesses would move all of their manufacturing to the United States. They would jump out of Canada. That would be the result. And is that Donald Trump's fault? I mean, you could try to blame it on Donald Trump, but the fault would be on the people who continued and accelerated it. Donald Trump is putting these restrictions on there as a negotiation tactic, not as a final do-all, end-all. It's ridiculous to think so. Ashley Cinnamon with a $6.99 super chat says, Ukraine says only 60% of payments received Did you see that article? That's according to Zelensky. Money laundering. Doge will find in US, Canada. I don't know if Doge will find that, because once it left, we'll see. We'll see how, I mean, they're forensic auditing, see how good they are at that stuff. Yeah, I heard the story. And what do you think's going to happen? I don't know. I don't know where that's going to go, but it's ridiculous, to say the least. It's absolutely ridiculous, but it's so predictable that all that money was being laundered to what? We know that a ton of the munitions were found with Taliban munitions that were given to Ukraine from Canada, from the United States. They were found, they found those munitions with Taliban fighters, with, you know, terrorist organizations. This is true. Where's that money going? Don't know. But there's a lot of politicians that just seem to be getting really, really rich these days. Ain't that something, hey? You know? You suddenly came across a lot of money on that salary that you got. Speaking of salaries, Canadian politicians in West Coast are getting more of their salaries. They're getting increases in pay, up to what, 50%? 50% increases in their pay. All NDP MLAs receive a new title, and all but one get a raise. That's right. Premier David Eby, super honest guy out in British Columbia that was totally elected again. I mean, totally super open and honest, fair election that was like a whole week of elections, and then unlimited mail-in ballots. There was no restrictions on mail-in ballots. There was, it was rainy that day, so they decided to do call-in voting. Not where you call in, but they call you. So they're the ones tallying the votes, and they're calling you to ask you who you vote for. Yeah, that's right. And yeah, I don't know. And then it took them a month to figure out who actually won. That guy. Yeah, that guy. Now he's giving everybody 50% raises. That's right. Premier David Eby's new cabinet is a big one. Despite winning 10 fewer seats than former Premier John Horgan, he has 3 more ministers than his previous leader. On Tuesday, the day after the cabinet was sworn in, Conservative leader John Rustad described the NDP as a bloated government that is giving everybody a running for the NDP top up. All the NDP MLAs will receive a new title and will begin with a base salary of just under $120,000 a year. But all but one come with a salary boost before they even start working. The BC Green leader, Sonia Furstenau, was the first to know about this, doesn't think that that's right. She says, you know, you get a bonus after you you've demonstrated that you're very capable and hardworking, said First to Know, the Green Socialist. She wants it to be a merit system. Oh goodness. Oh, that's a funny one. But each of Eby's 27 cabinet ministers will receive a raise with just under $60,000 for ministers and $41,000 for junior ministers, plus nearly $18,000 a year for the 14 parliamentary secretaries. That's right. All out of our pockets, British Columbians. Great one. That's fun. That's super fun. This is what we get. This is what we get. Oh, you can't make this up. It's crazy. This is Team Canada. Woo. BC recent election was a complete joke indeed. It was. And now they're giving themselves raises. I can't make this up. You can't make it up. Can't make it up. This is what they do. Oh man. What do you even say to this? What do you even say to this? There's so many things I want to go through, but I just don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start. It sounds like you have a cold. Funny. But that's how the old school media people talk. Don't you know? We're giving people raises. And guess what? I love this. National Post writing, to win over Canadians, Mark Carney will need to convince them to forget the last 9 years. Absolutely. More than the last 9 years. Let's not forget Mark Carney. One trick pony Carney. Money printer go. Brrr. That's Mark Carney. That is what it sounds like, Clyde, right? Have a drink, Clyde. Don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do. By the way, head on over to ClydeDoSomething.com. You can get yourself a cup of coffee yourself. I'm on Team Alberta. Yeah, you should be on the team of your province for sure. I'm absolutely for that. Now, Mark Carney, one trick pony Carney, as we're calling him now, because he has one trick up his sleeve, and that is print money, more and more and more and more money. Just keep printing money. Here it is. Mark Carney's ever-present Trudeau problem to win over Canadians. He'll need to convince them to forget the last 9 years. He waited too long. Had to be driven from office by his own caucus and left a monumental mess in his wake. But Justin Trudeau's departure, combined with the belligerent new attitude in Washington. Oh, goodness. Belligerent new attitude in Washington. This really... It makes me laugh because, the TDS is real and it is so prevalent on the Canadian side. It drives me nuts. I mean, I'm just gonna pull up Coyne. I just got to pull up Andrew Coyne because he's just like one of the craziest of them. Andrew Coyne. Just look through his Twitter and like half of his tweets are just insane. Diane Sylvain with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Says, I think you missed my last chat. Here's a new one. I think you're very realistic about the U.S.-Canadian situation. We have to realize that it means what it means to live next to a superpower and a super economy with MAGA in power facts. Absolutely. I'm sorry if I missed your last one. Did I? Was I just rambling and I didn't see it? Oh, I'm sorry, Diane. I really apologize for that. My bad. But yes, no, we do have to realize, like, we can't act like a bunch of petulant, spoiled brats. Like, we really had a good run for a very long time. The U.S. largely allowed us to be, I mean, for lack of a better word, pricks. Like, seriously, if your neighbor came to the door and was just like, yeah, how about we we can have an agreement. I'll borrow stuff from you, you borrow stuff from me. But then every time they borrow something, they either don't give it back or they're just, they wreck it or something. And then you go to borrow something from them, and they're like, nah, I don't lend that thing out, and I don't do this. It really is like that. We've had this long-standing, relationship with the United States where they're a giant economy, and every country in the world would love to have access to the United States economy, especially in a situation where you don't have to ship over an ocean, right? We're right there. It's so lucky. Holy lucky. And the U.S. is like, sure, sell your products in our country. Cool. Awesome. Great. And then they're like, hey, we've got companies. We'd love to sell our products in. No. What? Yeah, well, we have companies that do that thing too. And we don't want your guys to compete with our guys. Oh, but your guys come in and compete with our guys. Yeah, but you see, double standard, right? That's how it's been for forever. It is annoying. It is annoying. And then to come in with an attitude, with this holier than thou attitude, I just don't. I can't. I can't. And on top of it, the TDS is so cringe. Goko Donnie with $5 super chat says the limits of tyrants are prescribed by the endurance of those whom they oppress. Is that Frederick Douglass? The limits of tyrants are prescribed by the endurance of those whom they oppress. Yeah, they'll only be able to do what we allow them to do to us. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And guess what? What are we willing to put up with, Canada? What are we willing to put up with? 100% spot on. The Liberal NDP and their attitude towards the US and everyone on board with them are just as ridiculous. They are. What is this stuff he says? 3 questions, 3 scotches. This is what, 3 sips of a scotch drink? This is the kind of stuff you get from like low tier individuals. Humiliating I've ever seen happen to a New York City mayor. Is this humiliating?
If he doesn't come through,
You're up early anyway.
if he doesn't come through, I'll be back in New York City, and we won't be sitting on the couch. I'll be in his office, up his butt, saying, "Where the hell is the agreement we came to?" So
I
love it.
And I want ICE to deliver. We're going to deliver for the safety of the people of this city.
Holman's great. I love it. No, it's not thinly veiled. It is not thinly veiled. It's a threat. Get out of here. These people don't understand how analogies work. A thinly veiled threat would be something that is like at least veiled in a threat. That was a threat. That was direct. If you don't, quid pro quo, you don't do what I ask you, I'm coming back and I'm going to be up your butt with this. Oh man, these people don't know how to write. How do they get their jobs? Emily, no. Oh, it should be like, Emily, no. But Philip Neves with a $5 super chat says, the United States has never spilled a single drop of blood defending Canadian soil, but we lost 159 soldiers in fighting terrorists that they trained. Yeah, that's true. The United States has never spilled a single drop of blood defending Canadian soil. That's a hard one. That's a hard one. How many people have tried to invade Canada? Do you think that being next to America is not a deterrent for people invading Canada? That, there would have been several attempts to invade Canada next to these giant military power. I don't see that. I just don't see that. So yeah, of course, we went and we fought in conflicts with them. And the US has fought in conflicts that had nothing to do with them too. The US is part of these peacekeeping missions and Kosovo and UN missions with all these other things. Yeah, that's part of the whole deal that we got ourselves into. Now, I'm not defending of course, I'll be the first to say that the CIA going and training bin Laden, bad idea. All of the clandestine things. This is what we're getting to the bottom of right now with Doge, Donald Trump. So we're on the same page on that front. But, again, I'm with you on the things that we're not, if we weren't meant to be in those battles, then yeah, that's awful. Again, the only reason nobody's ever messed with Canada is not because they're like, that Canadian force is really something to be reckoned with. No, it's because we're next to the giant. And to not acknowledge that is just, I can't get over that. I just can't get over that. Gerard with a $13.99 super chat, but no message. throw in a message if you'd like to say something. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much, Gerard. Or is it Gerard? Or is it Gerhard? I know I'm mispronouncing it. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. I believe the Conservatives don't win a majority. Alberta will go. That's a possibility. I don't know. Clyde could. Real example of democracy, but I'm not seeing it now. I'm going. Oh no, chat's moving too quick. I would rather be in the 51st state than live under a Carney-led government. Look at my history. I got to look at my history of when a foreign country went to invade Canada. The United States did. The United States tried to invade Canada twice. Yeah, it didn't work out. Absolutely didn't work out. That was a very long time ago. It was before Canada was Canada as well. So that's the thing. Yeah. Yeah, I can't get over that fact. Like, we don't have a fear of Canada being invaded. Fought in Toronto. Yeah, there was battles all over the place. I grew up in Windsor. I knew about the battles, the heroism of Tecumseh, all of that stuff. But let's get back to this Trump derangement syndrome. I'm gonna have to go look at my replies. That's where I'll find it, because this Andrew Coyne guy, unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. Goko Donnie with a $10 super chat saying, black bag ops have been funded for decades with what again? Do you honestly believe that the many alphabet agencies are not in on this in some way with the medical stuff? There's a game afoot. Yeah. And again, I'm with this whole idea of Doge getting to the bottom of it. The best part about all this clandestine stuff is when they went after USAID, they cut their funding. They cut their funding. The whole thing with Schumer saying, if you go after the intelligence community, they've got 6 ways to Sunday at getting back at you. Well, good luck with that now, because you've just, now they don't have any money to get back at you with. That's going to be difficult. So they're trying real hard. But again, it's amazing. I heard someone paraphrasing somebody that even Ronald Reagan, with his attempts at shrinking the size of government, was not able in 8 years to affect what Trump and Elon have done in 3.5 weeks. That's amazing. That's amazing. Ashley Cinnamon with a 279 says, you don't have to invade. We sell out to influence. Yeah, there you go. I saw one. Clyde, I agree totally on funding the CAF and Trump's talk of $200 billion deficit about Canada's reliance on U.S. protection. We should do our part on protecting this continent. Absolutely. Absolutely. We're reneging our responsibility. If we don't do it, what is the point of a federal government? Honestly, what is the point of a federal government? Federal government's main roles are protect the borders. That's number one. Number one. Number two is to make sure the provinces aren't fighting. And especially economically. Those two things they've completely reneged on. Do they have a mandate to do anything at this point? Peter Whitten with 5 says, exciting times, people. The best time to be alive. Be present. Get involved. Let's make some history. Love to all in chat. I love you all. Yeah, great. This is amazing. And I love the pushback. I do love the pushback. Tampons versus the U.S. I'm sure that will work. Yeah, that's right. I mean, what? That's what we have to fight back with. Male tampons. in the washrooms. Now, here's a great question that was put forward by Rex Glacier. He says, "Why is nobody joining the Canadian Armed Forces? What job would you take? Hurry up and become the 51st state. It's not happening." I know you've got the dual citizenship, Clyde, but you seem more in favor of the U.S. Canada has helped the U.S. in different spots, and I don't think you acknowledge that as well. I do. I mean, how many times do I have to say it? I absolutely do. Canada has come to the aid of the United States. It's true. But you have to both say, and Canada has never had an external threat because the United States is there. That's fair. It's absolutely fair to say both. That's true. So yeah, I favor both sides. But you know what I also favor more? Liberty. And this is a whole thing. It's crazy because when I say things about Canada, I'm not saying things about the Canadian people. I'm saying things about the Canadian government. And I don't know why that gets misconstrued. I'm not sure why that does. Goko Donnie for 2 says, "Where are my manners? Happy Valentine's, everyone." Absolutely. Happy Emergency Act Day, which is now the celebration here in Canada. Yes, 1982 Constitution Act. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. Clyde, you're USA simp. I'm a simp for the US. How can I be a simp? I'm a citizen. Oh, that's funny. So anybody who loves Canada is a simp? Like, what's your logic there? I don't get that. Get with it. Are you married, Clyde? Happily. I'll be going on 19 years this summer. Kanye North agree we don't need to break from the monarchy. There's no point to the monarchy anymore, in my opinion, my estimate. I mean, people would cringe if they saw Charles on the coins. I think the monarchy is kind of a lived up. It's all over. Traitor to both countries. Canada, he's neutral. Besides, what is this? Oh, I'm gonna give this the light of day. Clyde is a traitor to both countries. Canada, he's neutral. Besides, if Canada burns, we claim Clyde. You claim me? I don't get that. So, do you know what a traitor is? Sasquatch Chronicles? Do you know what consists of being a traitor? Sabotaging? Like actually having to... Yeah. This is... Get a couple of face palms in the chat here. I'm sticking up for Canada. I want the crappy government gone. I mean, is that the thing? It's like if you're not Team Canada, like you have to be part of this government. Oh, okay. I was joking. Some people aren't when they say these things, which is unbelievable. Thank you for clarifying there. I've had so many people say this stuff to me in all seriousness lately, and it just blows me away. It's astonishing. So yeah, sorry for not getting the sarcasm there. Winiska, $5. Ask Vesper to design a Canada Liberty flag. Yeah, he's busy now. He's busy doing. I'll ask him if he's keen on that. But yeah, I'm all for liberty. And it's crazy. It's crazy. This Team Canada is not about liberty. A lot of Canadians are totally for liberty. Goko Donnie for 2 says, so the White House needs a new paint job, huh? Yeah. Of course. I mean, that's always gonna, like, it'll always be a fact that Canadians went down and burnt down the White House, but designed the flag of Clydesters. Too funny. Yeah, the monarch's washed up. It's like nobody takes it seriously. It's a celebrity gossip thing these days. I mean, really, who cares? Who cares about the monarchy? I know for one, I don't. Canada does not hate Alberta, only asshats. I lost it. It went up in the chat. My bad. Put Clyde on a gold coin. Ha, Tamara too. Put Tamara on a gold coin. My face doesn't deserve to be on anything like that. Not at all. Team Canada is a hockey name. There you go. Hey, Canadians, don't burn the White House. The British did. Yeah, oh, there you go. So it wasn't the Canadians. It was the British. It was before Canada was Canada. One of these other things that I gotta address this one, because this is one that keeps coming up too. I get a lot of people that say, like, you're moving to America, so therefore you're a traitor, you're this or that. You get all these all this animus. You're a coward, and then talk about my family's been in Canada since blah blah, right? I love logic trees. This is something I teach my daughter all the time. Logic, follow the logic. Let's use the Socratic method. Let's get to the bottom of where that goes, right? Let's get to the core principle of that statement, and then let's extrapolate. Okay, so if I'm a traitor, or if I'm a bad person, you could think down of me in any sort of way for wanting to, in the situation that I've been given, because you guys who frequent the channel know the situation I'm in. I'm in a temporary living situation until we can move, because we were evicted from our property and our rent went up by like $20,000 this year. So untenable, it's unaffordable to live where we're at, and moving towns, it's like, we're gonna move to another expensive Canadian town and then have this happen in a couple of years, or we could just move to the US. Because I'm a dual citizen. The reason why we're not doing it quite yet is because we're doing the legal thing and making sure that my wife has her visa before we go. That's pretty straightforward, right? Now that being said, if someone who's leaving because they got a bad situation, things are falling apart in a geographical location, and are moving away to another place that's doing good in the moment, is you would equate that with being, treasonous or a coward or any of these epithets that get thrown at me, then wouldn't the families of these people that move to Canada from wherever the hell they're from, aren't they then saying that their family members that came to Canada because their place of origin was a hellhole and they couldn't afford it, or whatever tenuous situation they were in, were cowards for leaving? Like, I don't know how you can have both sentiments, that your family that came to Canada is not a coward, but anyone who leaves Canada because of the current circumstances are cowards. You can't have it both ways. Does that make sense? Is that logic sort of following in that sense? Of course, I don't think that people who came to Canada were cowards. In fact, quite the opposite. I think they were brave for dropping everything and taking the opportunity at their feet and moving with very little knowledge of what's going to happen in the future, taking absolute risks to come to Canada and then become successful in Canada. I think that's tremendously brave of them, having done that. So well done teaching your daughter how to think critically. Well, that's how you do it. This is what you do. So yeah, of course. I love these. She argues a lot, and I keep telling her that she'll be a great lawyer or something like that one day, and she hates it, and she'll argue with me why she doesn't want to be a lawyer. And I'm like, okay, keep doing that. Keep doing that. Clyde said he was moving before Trump invaded Canada. I did say I was moving before Trump decided to invade Canada. It's an economic situation that we're in. That's all that is. I guess I better go buy a couple more coffee cups. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Before they're sold out, because they're almost gone. Now we'll get more coming, but I think the next batch won't be these. So we're gonna come up with a new one. I think this might be the the thing. I do want to make the afuera one though. That might be another separate run. So I might have 2 simultaneous ones running. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? If you guys keep buying the products, we'll keep bringing new products in. This is how it works. So again, link in the description down below, or if you can't remember, it's just ClydeDoSomething.com. Head on over. We'll populate the store with more things as things come in. I want to specify one thing as well. When you order multiple items in one shipment, it comes as one shipment. So it'd be one shipment cost. It's not like from other stores where it's drop ship ordering. You don't get billed with a bunch of different shipping prices on each individual item. So if you order a shirt, a coffee mug, and a thing, I think we'll even put together some package deals where you can get a cheaper price on a package. Maybe we'll put a package together to get stuff out to you. But yeah, one shipment cup, one shipment cost of the FAFO cup. That's not a bad idea either. You guys got some great ideas. So that's awesome. I want an afuera mug. So yeah, we'll have to make that happen. Trudeau needs to be supported by Vlad the Impaler. That's quite the support. Give me a Falcrum and a lever and I can move the world. Mr. T, I'm missing some of these chats. I love that FAFO graph. Good t-shirt. Hey, awesome ideas. Holy cow. Do you sell decaf? That's actually what I drink. I'm drinking right now. It's delicious. Yeah, the decaf is really good. And again, all the beans, you can order pre-ground or full whole bean if you do your own grinding, the way you like to do it. And Yuji's also working on a why am I drawing a blank? An espresso roast. So there's going to be a specific espresso one coming out soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that. If you're in the United States, we have it. I think it's live on the shop now. We do have the ability to ship to the United States now. So that is available. So I know there were some people that were curious about that. That is a thing. Decaf? Yes, we do have decaf. Can you get mugs signed by Tamara? That would be a stretch. That would be a stretch. And can you sign mugs? Is that a thing? Have you locked in your vote yet? The Muppetarians are an option. You should look into them. What? I'm not sure what you're talking about. The dark roast and dab of 2% goat milk for me. Awesome. Get on the store. It's called the dark humor. Your morning coping mechanism. That's what we've got. Militant, according to Sam Cooper's findings, the housing market here was used for money laundering by criminals, and that's what drove up the prices. Now, I'm going to disagree. Americano, yes, the medium roast is MAGA. We're making Americanos great again. That's what we're doing. There's no YouTube tariffs on mugs. There you go. That's a thing. So this is a bit of, so Sam Cooper's right and not right at the same time. So I think the money laundering in Vancouver definitely helped bid the prices up in Vancouver, as well as probably in Toronto and all these other places. It was a way of just cleaning money, right? And it still is. It still is. But like, look at Toronto now. Toronto's got 70% higher vacancies right now. Not vacancies, but inventory. That's the word that I was looking for. So from Better Dwelling this week's top stories, this is actually from last week's top stories. Most Canadians are leaving for good, and Toronto housing inventory jumps 70%. So inventory's jumping, but the laundering's still happening. Now, I think a lot of the laundering is happening through some other means as well, right? So if the drug trade is happening here in Canada with Canadian cash, that's Canadian money. Still difficult to explain that stuff away. But one way that they do it is they filter it through the casinos. And the casinos, and Sam Cooper talks about this as well. The casinos are a way for laundering that money. Now, Chinese triads, they'll buy giant houses and they'll buy it for the explicit purpose of just getting money out of China, stuff like that. That is a thing. And yeah, money laundering and mortgage fraud, fund real estate, Clyde. How do you explain the prices not matching the incomes? Think about it. Well, that would be the case if it wasn't across Canada, right? Across Canada. How did the housing market start to boom? Incidentally, it started booming right at the time that Mark Carney was in the Bank of Canada, and he decided to make the money printer go brr. That was the concept there. Now, getting back to, I want to play that after. Is this in my replies? Hold on a second. Mark Carney, because I'm calling him One Trick Pony Carney, because that's exactly what he is. He's a one-trick pony, because everywhere he goes, he has one thing that he can do. And I point this out here to Mark Carney's post. We need to catalyze enormous private investment to help build millions of new homes for younger Canadians. A serious plan to lower building costs is one way we're going to do that. One Trick Pony is talking about firing up the printing press. That's what he's talking about. Many printer go brr. He's talking about pumping tons of liquidity into the marketplace. And what does that do? So am I going to bore people with this one? Am I going to bore people with this explanation? Maybe that's a thing. But here's a quick lesson on how money and economies work. Again, I was getting into this because Patrick Weiler, who's the MP for my riding, says Canada needs serious leadership to steer us during these challenging times. Mark Carney has a steady hand and the vision that will strengthen our country and build Canada for the future. Here's Mark's steady hand. This is what Mark's steady hand looks like. Yeah, Lamau, Zimbabwean dollars, everyone will be millionaires. That's how you get so what happens in an economy? So if you pump liquidity, so let's start from this position. Supply demand curves. Everybody kind of understands it. If there's a lot of supply of a thing, the demand meets at a point and it's a low point because there's a lot of supply. There's not a lot of demand at that point. The prices will be low. If there's a lot of demand but not a lot of supply, the prices will be high, right? It's a pretty easy concept for everybody to get. Now, a lot of people had a difficult time understanding interest rates for eons. And this is where usury laws and stuff like that came from. And I'm not just talking the Islamic world, back in even Jewish, Judeo times, Christian times, all kinds of times. You would see usury laws come into play this way or that way, right? Now, that's because people didn't understand what interest rates were. They would say, it's not right to charge interest, but then what happens when interest is zero? When interest is zero, nobody lends money out. I'm not going to give you money on the promise to repay me later the same amount of money. That's my liquid assets. I've saved up my money so that I have it available. I want to lend it out. I want to lend it out to people. Now, a lot of people couldn't understand this for a long time until Ludwig von Mises came around. And he was an economist from Austria. And he had this realization. He's like, holy cow. There's one part of this whole idea that everybody's just been overlooking for all this time. And time is the thing. He called it the time preference. I want liquid assets now. I want money now. I don't want to wait and save it so that I can get it later and then be able to use it later. I'm putting myself at a disadvantage time-wise. Did you already address your eye? Yes, I did. I have a serious infection in my eye. This is why I'm not drinking wobbly pops tonight. I'm having coffee because I'm on antibiotics for that. It got really bad. This is the reason why I didn't do videos the past couple of days. It's on the mend. But yeah, I have addressed that. So the idea here is the time preference. We want to have that money now. Well, how do I get my money now? Well, I got to borrow it from somebody else who has it if I don't have it. So this is the supply. So I got to look around the market and say, how many people have extra money? How many people have spare money that they can lend out? And they'll say, I got money, I got some money. I'll lend it out to you at a cost. I want money. I want it. There's a price to that. So I'll pay a surplus. I'll pay an extra amount to have the money now instead of later. And then this becomes a thing. So the time preference is the reason why there's a demand, right? And then the supply of people who have liquid assets, liquid savings, becomes the supply. So you have a supply and demand curve now. Your supply is how much savings is in the marketplace. The demand is how many people want to borrow money. They want to borrow money so that they can earn money and then pay it back later. This is how interest rates work in the market, in a marketplace. Now, when you get central banks involved, it skews this process. It skews this process entirely. And we'll get to that in a second. Fiorica, the $10 super chat, says, when the UK left Hong Kong, that was when the housing costs began to rise in Vancouver. I know, I've been building homes for 30 years. Recall when casinos were legal. I recall when casinos were illegal, and then they weren't. And then they weren't? Question mark. I'm not sure when they became legal. I don't know what the timing was of that. But I'm not saying that the money laundering through the real estate market isn't responsible for what was happening in Vancouver, in a part. But because this bubble economy has gone all the way across Canada, you can't blame that on the Vancouver real estate market and the money laundering that was occurring in there. And yes, that was occurring with the ever expanding bubble economy. It was what helped facilitate the fact that these houses would sell and what have you. I wasn't asking you. That was a rhetorical question. All good. No problem. So the idea here, and so explaining interest rates and how they work in a market fundamental. So what happens when Canada has the lowest interest rates, they have the lowest saving rates that we've ever seen in Canadian history? Well, where should interest rates be? Anybody? Where would interest rates be? Well, they would be high, because there's always demand for money. There's always demand for liquid assets. The demand goes down when the supply is, when the price goes up, because the supply, it's the equilibrium that we see in the marketplace. That's right. High interest rates with low savings. Well, why over the past 10 plus years have interest rates been at historic lows, Glenn? We're at historic lows. It's because they're artificially low. They're artificially low because they were set at that point by the Bank of Canada when Mark Carney was the governor of the Bank of Canada. Polyev needs to be talking on this too. And you know what, Winiska? Polyev is great at speaking to this. And I don't know why he's not talking more about this right now. Because this is what Carney is on about. He's on about pulling that one trick out of his that's all he's got. When all you got is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. He did it in Canada. Bank of Canada. Interest rates, historic lows. And what does that do? It encourages people to get out of savings. And we'll get to that. So then he goes over to the Bank of England. He does the exact same thing. Historic low interest rates. And what has it done? It's moved people out of savings, which is a great fundamental marker for a good functioning economy, is when savings reach an equilibrium. You'll never have 100% savings. That's just ridiculous. You can't have that. But savings come down as interest rates drop lower, right? So if interest rates are high, people will be then incentivized to put their money in savings. Now, the money that goes into a savings account goes out and is lent out to people, entrepreneurs that want to borrow the money. So you're the lender at that point when your money's in a savings account. And this is why they don't want you to have the ability to just pull it all out at one time, right? Because then the bank's left holding the bag in that scenario. So this is why they do it that way. But a budget is still a great thing to push for. Absolutely, absolutely. Budget's a different thing altogether. I'm talking about the marketplace, not governmental. Goko Donnie for 10 says, Secrecy World by Jake Bernstein was made into a Netflix movie called The Laundromat. Solid educational foundation to see why we're where we are financially. And Carney is complicit in this. And I'm getting into, I haven't seen that, but I'm getting into why Carney's complicit in this. Exactly. Absolutely he is. Now, so Carney does this. We had historically low savings. The Lehman shock, as they call it in Japan, the 2008 crisis comes in. Stephen Harper's government says, okay, now's the time to do some deficit spending because we're gonna fix this economic situation, then we'll pay it back immediately. So what do? They spend, and then as the economy starts to mellow out, they pay back those debts. That was the goal. And Mark Carney's like, yeah, I'm going to lower interest rates to 0 so it'll be easier for you to pay those debts back. So they pay those debts back. And then he's like, yeah, I'm just going to keep them low. Boop, 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 boop. Keeps them low forever. Matt Monk with a $5 super chat says, Carney is beyond anything we've seen. He's pure evil. He's worse than Trudeau. He's what was guiding Trudeau. If we get a bank run, it's illegal to do that, eh? Yutaga, don't call for a bank run. Yeah, I know you're joking, right? You're joking. In Minecraft, you want a Minecraft bank run, but yeah, Mark Carney's pure evil, Matt. Absolutely, and he knows what he's doing, but he does have only one trick, and that's turn on the printing press. And if you think that he's not going to do that as the prime minister, and you say that, but Clyde, the Bank of Canada, they're an independent organization. It's not the same as the government. They're a separate. They're political. They're absolutely political. They follow orders. All the Carney simps have no idea. No, they don't know. But there were Trudeau simps and all that stuff, right? Don't look behind the veil. You're not going to like what you see. So here's the thing. When people get out of savings, when they're encouraged to get out of savings, because how are you, Clyde? How are you, Rachel? I'm doing good. A little sore in the eye. The infection is starting to subside, though. It's good. How did Venezuela fall apart? Just saying. Well, Venezuela fell apart with socialism, which they're also pushing for. Jagmeet Singh and the liberals alike. Trudy was made entered apprentice, and part is done. Is sponsoring master is here to get the rest done. Yeah, I think he's here to finish the job of destroying Canada. And that's what makes me annoyed with this whole Team Canada stuff, and people pushing back on me. You're not being Team Canada. What? I'm looking out for Canada's interests. What are you talking about? These people want to destroy the country. Nice to see you, Clyde. Really enjoying your videos. Thank you, Kevin. Really appreciate that. Clyde's got crusties. Yeah, no crusties. It just swollen. It sucks. I got something in there. Got something in the eyelid at work, I think it was. But it happens. On my break time. at work. For any WCB people that are listening in, it was on my break. I was out having a walk to get some lunch, and I poked myself in the eyeball. Carney is more American than Canadian. All of his businesses are over there. It's funny, he's European. That's the thing. Now back to why this led to the bubble economy in Canada. So if interest rates are artificially low and people get savings, they're not incentivized to save. If the interest rates, so that's a market signal that there's enough savings out there. So if everybody was saving money and there was like this huge percentage of savings in the marketplace, interest rates would go low, and then less people would be incentivized to save. That's a natural phenomenon. But we were at a low interest rate or a low savings rate, and the Bank of Canada artificially lowered interest rate. How do they do that? They pump the economy with liquidity because there's no people saving money. And that money isn't available, the government of Canada makes it available, and then they put it out there as liquid assets, new money, new issuance of currency. It's absolutely inflationary. That is inflation. When the government puts new money and credit out into the marketplace, that is the inflation. The rising prices are the effects of inflation. This is how that works, right? So when the Bank of Canada has done that, it encourages people not to get into saving because they won't even make up their cost in inflation. So what do? They have to get into some sort of asset. And what was the asset that everybody was pushed into around 2008? That's right, homes. And I remember when I got back to Canada, for all those people who were like, You're awful. You're leaving Canada. I left Canada before. I lived in Japan for 3 years. It's not a big thing. People leave and live in other places, and then they come back. It happens, right? So I watched it happen. I remember this happening because I was enamored with the whole Ron Paul revolution and stuff, and I was reading all these books on economics, and I was like, holy cow, they're doing it in Canada. They're doing it in Canada. They're doing what just happened in the United States, and it took a while, and then it popped, but the government of Canada is doing it, and they're making a bubble economy in Canada. And so what did people do? They got into houses, they got into this, and they bid up, they got into this idea of flipping homes, because you could buy it with cheap borrowed money. You borrowed money, cheap, super low interest rates. You buy a house, and then you do a little quick fixer-upper, and then you sell it on the market, and you make a couple of bucks. Ashley Cinnamon with a 279 chat says, no bubble economy, Central Alberta, 10% up in 11 years. Okay, fair enough. 10% up in 11 years. That's actually down. In real terms, that would be down. That would be down because interest rate is a lot more than 10% in 11 years. That's outrageous. That sucks. Yeah, so a lot of people are going to Central Alberta. That would explain why a lot of people are going to BF nowhere in Alberta. But largely, most other places have increased. I mean, look at my little town in British Columbia. Look at all the little towns in British Columbia. Through the roof. It's crazy. So you have these... I mean, they made TV shows about it. Flipping homes, cheap liquidity, get the asset, sell it later. Boom. I'm making money flipping homes. That was a thing. 1996, my house was $103,000. 2006, it was $340,000. Squampton. Yeah. Straight out of Squampton. Yeah, same thing when we moved to Squampton in 2011, I was looking at houses that were sold only a few years earlier for $200,000, townhouses, and they were selling for $450,000. Now, guess what price they are? You wouldn't believe it. Over $1 million. Older ones are selling for like $950,000. You're not allowed to make money in Canada. Nope, that's against the socialist rules. Oh, you got to socialize those profits, even though you've taken all the risk and most of it was inflation. That's how that all works. So a lot of it's inflationary, but a lot of it is bid up prices, bubble economies, asset markets, and there's a lot. Squampton, that's what those of us living in Whistler called Squamish. Right on, Clyde. Yeah. Well, people in Squampton call it Squampton. In fact, that was funny because there was a store here that used to make Squampton stickers and hats. I had one, and they stopped making them because somebody complained that was racist. I don't know how they considered that, but it was one of those, like, you know, I'm offended on behalf of other people. Why? I don't know. That's unreal. The money used to secure these loans are guaranteed by the taxpayer. I'm funding some guy's house. Yes, mortgage-backed securities. Yeah, the government has taken out an unprecedented amount of these mortgage-backed securities in recent times. I used to go camping in Squamish. Nice. There's some great places to go. Let's play Monotony. Dexter's Lure Lab, 100% agree. That wasn't even addressed at me. So let's get into some of this other stuff that's been happening this week. It's just frustrating me. I'm taking it out on you guys. All my frustrations for this week. That's why I said it on Twitter. I said, F it. This video is just a rant. This is just a rant. Thank you guys for coming along for the ride on this rant. Oh, this has been fun. I like it. It's fun. It's fun to hang out with you guys. Here's Jagmeet Singh. Jimmy Singh. Is it Jimmy Dhaliwal? The doesn't Singh mean lion? I think they got the wrong lion in that one. I think it was spelled LYIN apostrophe. For this guy. I've thoroughly enjoyed your rant. No, not Sing. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here comes Sing. False guilt. It's colonial virtue signaling false guilt. Yeah, it is. It is. Here we go. If Trump attacks steelworkers in Canada, there will be hell to pay, says the... What is he officially referred to as? Corrupt bastard? I think that's his name. Jimmy the Cricket. I think just corrupt bastard. Yeah, Jimmy McJuggernuggets. I made that one up a while ago. Corrupt bastard. I think is most fitting because at least that one got under his skin. I like that. Maserati Marxist. Yep. So if Trump attacks steelworkers in Canada, there will be hell to pay. What hell are you going to give Donald Trump? I'm sorry. This tough talk is just annoying. It really is. The NDP plan starts with a dollar for dollar counter tariffs and supports for every worker impacted. We're going to fund UBI. We're going to go to communism with this one. Canadians have each other's backs. That's who we are. Didn't have our back during the mandates. Never had our back then. Don't think you got our back now, but let's hear what we also have to put in place. Jimmy's got to say. What's the music and these ads? It's just, quit it. Anyway.
I learned how to fight in Windsor, and I bring that fight with me everywhere I go. Right now.
Yeah, you bring it everywhere, corrupt bastard. What'd you say to me? What'd you say to me? I want to see these guys doing like 1980s wrestler promos. I want to see it like Macho Man Randy Savage, you know, coming out. My buttons are popping when I do that. Coming out. What'd you say to me, corrupt bastard? You say that to my face. Say that to my face. Come from sort of Florida or whatever he's from. Sarasota. That's right. Oh man, come on. You're not tough. Nobody thinks you're tough, Jimmy. I learned how to fight in Windsor. I learned how to fight in Windsor.
I learned how to fight in Windsor, and I bring that fight with me everywhere I go. Right now, Donald Trump's already announced that he's going to bring in steel and aluminum tariffs. So first, on that steel and aluminum tariff, we've got to fight back. We got to punch back with retaliatory tariffs. That's step
right. So a retaliation against Donald Trump's tariffs is that we're going to put product. We're going to buy what? Do we buy aluminum and steel from the United States? Is that a bit? If we manufacture it in Canada, are we sending it to the United States? Oh, okay. So you're just putting a tariff on something that doesn't even come here. Right. Awesome. And if there is some that come here, okay. Tough tongue Jimmy. Yeah. There we go. That's step one.
Step one. We also have to put in place supports for the workers impacted. I learned how to fight.
This is so funny. Like what? Nobody's scared, Jimmy. Nobody's like on the edge of their seat going, "Oh no, what's the Canada gonna do? They're gonna do." I think this one's a lot more fitting. This is more along the lines of how Canada's negotiation right now.
Are you gonna give Canada more money or not?
What exactly does Canada...
That's too good. Don't give me that fancy fat cat lip wiggling. Matt Monk for 5 says, what's your opinion on all these traitors who spat in the face of patriots back in 2020, 2022, who are now claiming to be patriotic? They can go suck a lemon. That's what they can do. That's what they can do. Because they're not, what are you like? Hey, dusting off that old Canadian flag. Oh, dude, I'm going to put this, what is it? The sales of Canadian flags are going up because people are so patriotic these days. Get out of here. I don't buy it. I don't buy it for 1 second. You're going to be patriotic for a second, and then next thing you know, Canada Day comes around and you're like, I don't want a Canada Day parade in my town because it's colonialism and it's blah blah blah. We got the same stuff from all these people. No, I'm not buying it. Not buying it. Don't come here telling me I need to be more patriotic and Canadians need to be more patriotic, and the only way to do it is to get on board. Clyde makes hats and shirts with Jagmeet quotes. No, I don't. Flags made in China, right? They'll soon make Canada Day woke. They did. In my town. I was very, very upset about it, actually. Not even kidding. Not even kidding. They used the COVID excuse for the longest time. They used the COVID excuse, and then they're like, no, we're not doing a Canada Day parade. I mean, they did Canada Day parades downtown forever. I know it's a small town, whatever. It's not going to be a big one. Who cares? But you bring your kids out. You wave a flag, and you wave at the firemen going by. You wave at the different trades workers, the loggers, the whatever. Everybody's got a float. And, yeah, they just stopped doing it. And I was calling up my buddies and stuff like, hey, what's with this? What's going on with the town? Like, what the hell's happening? And so a couple of years ago, it was Canada Day, and it was like way too past the whole thing, right? In fact, one year I brought my kids to Whistler because we're like, oh, we'll go to their parade because our town doesn't want to do a parade. Which I was upset about it. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty upset about it. And I went to Whistler, and then they stopped doing the parade. Instead, they called it a reverse parade, where there was just like stands everywhere, and you just walk through. It wasn't awesome. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't awesome. And then I think it was last year, Canada Day. Was it last year? I think it was last year. They're like, they were asked about it. Are we going to do Canada Day celebrations? They said no, but instead they brought in an Indigenous group and they had a Canada has been colonized day, where people could get up and apologize for colonizing the lands of Turtle Island or whatever the hell they wanted to go on about. And I'm sorry, but that's grossly offensive to me. I mean, you want to do that on a day, like fine, do that on a day, but you do that on Canada Day, and that really irked me. That irked me to a huge degree. So then I started throwing parties at my place and just do a big barbecue, and I invited everybody, come on out for Canada Day, and I started doing that because they've abandoned Canada Day. It's gross. No wonder, Clyde, we all fed up. Wouldn't be like that in America. No, it would never be like that in America. And if you're confusing my enthusiasm for American exceptionalism as some sort of critique against people who do appreciate Canada, please don't see it that way. It really is a critique of people who are fake patriotic in the moment. They don't have an appreciation for Canada. I have a big appreciation for Canada. I love Canada. I love the people of Canada. But this attitude that Canada is not good, this attitude that we're some colonial power, blah, 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 disassemble, post-nation state, no actual heritage or any of that stuff, out the window. I have no time for any of that stuff. And people that talk about that crap. Got zero time for that. Got zero time for that. Canada has a rich, vibrant culture. It's great. And yeah, it differs from American culture. And yeah, there's differences across the board, across Canada. And yeah, people often have more in common with their American neighbors than they do with people on the other side of Canada. We need to appreciate these things. Absolutely. Appreciate these things. But Canada needs to get on the game of exceptionalism. Why is it that we don't have, I was talking about this with Marty on Wednesday. We used to have a rich culture. We absolutely did. You should make hats and shirts with Jagmeet quotes. He has some hilarious quotes. That could be a possibility. We try to keep inventory down because like we're instead of making like cheap products that are like drop ship, that kind of thing, we're trying to actually inventory our own products and then ship them out ourselves. So to have too many things on the store is you have to have a huge turnover for that kind of thing. Diane Sylvain with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Very generous. What makes me really sad are small towns like Dawson Creek, northern BC, where over 10 people have disappeared or were on the way. Drug turf wars. My parents had their honeymoon there. Totally safe before. Yeah, it's being ruined. It's being ruined. And who's ruining it? It's the drug trades. It's the stuff that our government's allowing in, and they're making us apologize for when we say we don't want that here. We don't want this kind of thing in our country. They say, "Oh, you're not being sensitive to this or that." I'm sorry, but I don't need to be sensitive to that stuff. I don't need to be sensitive to that. Now, that isn't to say that, certain, people of different countries shouldn't come to Canada and seek a better life. Absolutely. Come to Canada. Come to Canada. Seek a better life. Do that. But if you're found out that that's not what you're the reason why you're here, and quickly, And that's a big problem. Yeah, Chinese labs in Canada, these things, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So I have this article here. Pop this up on the screen. BC, bad F word lab, super lab, property owner says he was just the landlord. Michael Dryheisen, maybe that's how you say that, filed a statement today in defense of his week in response to a lawsuit filed by the BC government alleging his property should be forfeited for his links to the criminality. Dave B with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Dave B. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. Same as, oh, that's so hard for me. Same as last time. Oh, there we go. When you put words together, my dyslexia just kicks in and I'm like, what? Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. Same as last time. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dave. I appreciate that. So BC's going after this guy now. The Abbotsford man who owns the Falkland property where Canada's largest ever F-word super lab was discovered in October says he was just the landlord and unaware of what was going on there. Unaware of what was going on there. Michael Dryuheisen, maybe that's how it's said, filed a statement in defense this week in response to a lawsuit filed by the BC government saying the property should be forfeited for his links to the criminality. What about the fact that the BC government, it was happening right under their noses and the RCMP somehow busted it, but only got one guy? What's that all about? I think they only arrested the janitor of the lab. We're going to get into that. The director of civil forfeiture filed his claim against the 66-hectare rural property at whatever address, that's irrelevant. Also named as a defendant was Gangpreet Singh Randhawa, the only person so far facing criminal charges in this case. He remains in custody pending a bail hearing that's scheduled for February 21st. We'll pay attention to this story because the biggest F-word super lab in Canadian history, the guy's got a bail hearing. And I guarantee you, he's going to be out. He's going to be out on bail. The claim said that between January and October 25th, 2024, the Hoth Road property was used in the production, storage, and processing of illicit narcotics. When the police raided the property on October 25th, it found a large, sophisticated, clandestine laboratory capable of producing large quantities of narcotics, including the F word and the M word, and the other M word that's an abbreviation for other words. But Dryhueisen, maybe, said in the response that he's just a landlord. Hey, I'm just a landlord. I don't know what's going on my property. I don't know. I got no idea. I'm just a businessman like you. You know, did not participate or acquiesce in any unlawful activity at the property done by his tenant or his tenant agents. He doesn't name the tenant or the agent that rented the property to. What? I just rented the place out. I don't know. I wasn't involved in any of the criminal activity. Okay, who did you rent it out to? I'm not at liberty to say. What? What? I'm not at liberty to say. I can't tell you. I can't let you know. It's not. What? How is this even possible? What? Isn't that aiding and abetting in a criminal investigation? Straight cash under the table. How much were you getting per month? He doesn't know. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just selling merchandise here. I'm doing the landlord thing. Clyde, you're speaking in tongues. What is the M word? It's the it's the bad stuff. It's the breaking bad stuff. Ha ha. I am speaking in riddle. Sherlock is on holidays, yeah. Get warrants for F's sakes. Can the CCP be declared a tourist entity like the car sells? The car tells. I like that one. We gotta call them tourists, because they'll pick up that word too. Yeah, imagine that, declaring China a tourist organization. That would be interesting. I think we should with the triads. Absolutely. I think that we should. He doesn't name the tenant or the agent that he rented the property to. I don't understand how they let this fly. Now, I said this before. There's no way. And rented, right? There's no way. There's absolutely no way that the RCMP is that inept that they have a whole team working on this. They uncover the biggest lab in Canadian history to ever exist. And they're like, guys, we're moving in, but we're going to make sure that they're all on holidays. You know, like what? How does that ever happen? Or just like, ooh, this lab that's been working nonstop somehow only has one guy in it. And we know for a fact that it's the Mexican organization, but there's only one Indian guy in here. The last name Singh. Right. Got it. Like, if that doesn't reek of corruption, what does? And I'm sure the Americans are looking at this. Like, Donald Trump is looking over at this. Kash Patel's looking over at this. And he's going, you're not, no. No. That's not what went down. I'm on a roll tonight. Am I on a roll? It irks me. It irks me. So I'm on a rant tonight. That's what's happening. What? It smells in Canada. Audit time. It is audit time. Hammer time. Pelosi. I know what you mean by that. But this reeks. It reeks. And it's not me not being Team Canada to say, you know what? I have zero faith that the Canadian government is going to investigate itself. I have zero faith that the RCMP is going to investigate itself. I have zero faith that the CBSA is going to investigate itself, or any of these entities are going to investigate each other and find any wrongdoing. I have zero faith in that. Why would I have zero faith in that? Because they've proven themselves to be not reliable. Every step across the board. And the federal government, the provincial government, municipal governments, they're all absolutely unreliable. Canada needs an overhaul. Massive overhaul. And, you know, it starts at the political level. This is why I'm going to the Conservative AGM coming up at the beginning of March this year. I'm going to that. I'm not just having rants on the internet. It's not called Clyde Do Something because I just like to talk about it. I'm going to do something. And I want to encourage everybody else to get out there and do something. And I hope hearing these talks can bring a sense of relief that somebody else feels the way that you feel frustrated about things that you're frustrated about. But I don't want it to end there. And I really hope it doesn't end there, because I really want to encourage people, and I have to lead by example. I can't tell people that this is the way we do things without me myself getting out there and doing it myself. So yeah, you'll see me at the AGM for the Conservative Party of British Columbia. And yeah, I'm going to be raising these questions. I'm going to say, why is it these busts happen and nobody gets arrested? Where's the corruption? And what are you going to do to get rid of the corruption? Because without it, you won't have my vote. Without it, you won't have my support. And I'm talking at a party level, because I'm a delegate showing up to this organization. I want to see support for things. I want to see support for our industry here at home. Not that America's taking away our ability to do things. Canada's taking away our ability to do things. Get off of this train of America. Oh, America's hurting our family. No, America is not the one that's shutting down sawmills in British Columbia. America is not the ones that are stopping mining operations from going forward in British Columbia. America did not stop the Trans-Pacific Pipeline. America didn't stop the pipeline to go to the east. Canada did. Who's in the way? Canada is in the way. We need to change things at home before we start crying about what Donald Trump is going to do. The tariffs. Oh, goodness. He's going to back us into a corner, and he wants us to be the 51st state. You know what? If you have any semblance of wanting Canada to be a better place, it starts at home. It absolutely starts at home. This is where we do something about it. You know, sorry, getting heated up. This is where it starts. And it starts by getting rid of people like Stephen Guilbeault, whose interest is in shutting down industry across the board in Canada. He's been successful now with this new plant, the refinery that was going up. $11 billion of investment not happening in Canada anymore. Do you think the people who are looking to invest money are just going to go, oh, we'll wait you out. We'll chill. I got this $1 billion just burning up in lost revenue because it's just a liquid asset. I'm okay to lose it to inflation. No, they're gone. It's gone forever. That investor got burned. They're not coming back. There are so many investors that would be willing to work with Canada, but there's this problem, and it's called regime uncertainty. And this is the responsibility of the Canadian citizen to get rid of regime uncertainty. The idea that businesses won't bring their capital to the country because they don't want to waste their time. Too many people have been burned waiting for our government to drag their feet and say they're going to do this or no. We need to open up industry in Canada. Open up the availability for people to operate their businesses. This is why people are moving even their small businesses. They're moving them to the United States. You build a business, it's somewhat successful. It's so much easier to just go, yeah, I'm in Vancouver, but I'm going to go to Washington. I'm in Ontario, I'm going to go to Michigan. I'm in Quebec, I'm going to go to New York. It's so easy for a lot of companies to do that, and companies are doing that. There's some people that are, just stubborn, like Chase Barber from Edison Motors, who's totally just stubborn. He just really wants it to be in Canada. And who's fighting him? Is it the Canadians that are fighting him? No. Is it Donald Trump that's fighting him? No. It's his provincial government. It's his federal government. It's his municipal government that's fighting him every step of the way. To do what? Be an innovator in the world of green energy, green vehicles, a viable one, a more viable one than I even think the Teslas are. And I'm not crapping on Teslas. I think there's totally a market for those. But seriously, more efficient highway and off-highway trucks. Holy cow. We could be an innovator, and we're stifling that business. We're stifling businesses across the board, and we're doing it systemically. Canada needs to wake up. We cannot keep doing this. Go Donnie. I'm sorry. I'm getting riled up. I'm gonna save a bit of it for the chat over in Discord, because I know a lot of people are gonna want to give their 2 cents. So get on over to the Discord, and we'll talk more about this stuff over there. I know one of the mods will put the link in the chat here, so you guys can head over. Invites are only open during the live streams, by the way, on Friday nights. So take advantage of that opportunity. There's a great community over there, really good people, and we have chats after the live streams. Gokodani for 10 says, foreign ownership of our lands allows them to practice who they are on it, and they're buying it up all faster than it can be listed. We're being usurped for sovereignty by our elected employees. Yeah. It's funny too, because you don't see a lot of pushback when a Chinese company comes in and buys a piece of property in British Columbia or any of the provinces. There's not a lot of pushback from the governments on restricting what they're able to do. In fact, they make exceptions for them. I spoke with Dr. Sylvain Charlebois, where we were talking about the manufacturing of baby formula in Canada, where it's Chinese companies making baby formula that doesn't adhere to the Canadian standards, but they don't care because they're selling it to the Chinese market. And the Canadian government is like, okay, exception granted. But if you, as a Canadian company, wanted to make that same product to sell only to the Chinese market, you will not get that exception. This has got to end. This idea that our neighbors to the south can't do business with us, they can't open their banks in our soil, but we'll have Chinese banks on our soil. Gotta end. It's gotta end. So yeah, forgive me if a lot of what Donald Trump is saying resonates with me. It's because it's a lot of the frustrations that I've been seeing for a long time. And they're a lot of the solutions that we need here at home. And I'm jealous that it's only happening there. I'm fundamentally jealous that it's only happening there. I want to see it happen here. But it's going to take us to make that happen. We are the people that we've been waiting for. We got to get out and do something. And on that note, I'm going to take it to the Discord. How long have we been going? Oh, like 20 minutes before 4 hours. That's crazy. Clyde, they can have banks up here. City, for instance, most not open up shop here because they do not care for our strict regs. I dare us to hold as much land as China does here. Well, can we buy land in China? I mean, it should be reciprocal, right? So if you're a Chinese national and you want to come buy land in Canada, we need to have a treaty so Canadians can go to China and buy land. If you can't, if the answer is no, then the answer is no. That's the way it should be. It's got to be like that. Anyway, this has been a really fun adventure. 3.5 hour adventure, 3 hours and 45 minutes or 40 minutes adventure. No full stop. No. Great rant, Clyde. It's good for the soul. It makes you feel better. It makes you lethargic, I guess, at the end of it. It's great. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Head on over to the Discord if you're so inclined. If not, we'll definitely catch up with you guys this coming week. I haven't decided if I'm going to make a video come Monday. It is a holiday, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm still in recovery mode. I've been trying to rest my body a ton. This eye infection has been really weighing on me, as well as all the stress from all of this stuff. Thank you guys for being here through this, because it's definitely made me feel more empowered because of this. Granted, the regs can be changed. Cheers. Can't make Discord. Have a big day tomorrow. No problem. Thanks for the evening. Love all of you in chat, Americans too, which I'm one of them. So great time. It's been a fantastic time. So we'll see you guys over there. And if we don't see you, we'll see you this coming week. Everybody, keep on trucking.